Yes, Iship, I see. Yeah, this one is not even showing a GOG or something then. This is good. This one's good though. Showing for you either, I see. How's the Neo going? Very positive. So did they finally reach Neo 2? Since the previous one was 1.5 kinda. Or is it 1.75? Or it's 2.5 now. Seems reviews are good though. Still need to play the second one actually. The new Carmageddon? Well, I mean... Kinda, who would have thought? I kinda did completely forget that it's even out really. Completely forgot about that. Like Code Vein and this one also with the open world, I see. Everyone wants some open world then. Armored Core. New free leader added. Okay. Yeah, son. Stalker 30% off. Zombies instead of pedestrians, yeah. I think that's what's kind of like the distinct thing about the Carmageddon. It was supposed to be all this like trashy dang shit. Otherwise, like, no one needs that really. I mean, what's the point when you can play some other like racing games that do it better, probably? Damn, Doom Dark Ages already for fucking 17 bucks. That's why you ain't buying shit on a release and stuff, dude. Not even a year passed already, 67 bucks off, 67% off. Not 67 bucks, thankfully. Just gotta wait some longer, and then maybe. Just gonna get it as I did with the Doom 2016. I remember I got it like on some like 2 years maybe after release or something. Or was it a year actually? And I got it already for like a couple of bucks or something. Then I'll probably play it. Actually even. I still have DLCs for Eternal. Eternal I did pre-order though, and Eternal I did actually enjoy. Yes, Iship, I see. No, Eternal I did enjoy, but I also did play a Nightmare. So after I was finished with it, I never returned to the DLCs, even though I had them already, because I pre-ordered like some Mega Edition or something with DLCs. And I never played them, because like after Nightmare, I was like, okay, I kind of like... My body is not ready to go in with a Nightmare difficulty, but I feel kind of bad that I did main game on Nightmare and doing DLCs on lower difficulty doesn't feel right, so I kind of got in this, like, you know, trap there. And the struggle boss again. Well, I mean, kinda in a way, but that was like, you know, self-imposed suffering because I got Nightmare mode on. If I would go without the difficulty, I probably would be fine with that. But I also kind of wanted the challenge, though. I also wanted the challenge. Karicha Kitchen. Creepy Cozy, a cooking simulator. Befriend local wildlife and feed them their favorite snacks. The strange house to search and forest to explore. The witching hour has already begun. Amonka is... It does look pretty dank. You like the puzzle aspect? Yeah, I did like the gameplay in Eternal. I kind of did like the mechanics of that. Like all the fights on higher difficulties becoming kind of like a dance. Like you need to do sort of like everything right. Need to kind of catch, you know, find the rhythm sort of, you know, of that fight specifically. Like you stop, you're dead pretty much. You kind of just need to like constantly move it, constantly, you know, Do things, pick the right targets, kill the right targets in the right times and everything too. Yeah, the loot pinata and stuff is kind of like interesting way to do it. I do agree that like the concept might be not up for everyone's taste. Yeah, it gets exhausting if you play too long. Yeah, some fights get kinda, and like there is Ultra Nightmare, but yeah, that I probably wouldn't be able to, especially since like the very last fight is pretty much what kills you quite often for like kind of absolutely no reason. Also, even sometimes. I think what was actually where Moon, if I remember correct, also got destroyed on his Ultra Nightmare. Like literally on the boss fight, some dumb shit happened, I think, in the very last one. And all from the beginning. I remember. Like Grey Feather, hello. And I think Elo also got destroyed there at some point. But he was replaying it multiple times though, so for him that's kinda normal, you know. Hey Selpo, hello. Then stop stream here, yeah, it was a lot of molding on that one. For sure. For sure. Man, it's also $4 only. What the fuck? Some good games right there, eh? That's some good games there. He bodied Zed. Recent mixed. Damn, that one was mostly positive before even. The fuck? How did they do that even? The yup on Steam front page while Neo disappeared. I see, I see. All the Russian players with 1.0 got fucked. I see. That's how you farm the reviews, man. Considering looks like they did have a lot of Russians playing, that might kinda explain, I guess, a little bit of thinking in there. It did seem kinda weird, this one. Not sure. Not sure. Underboard. Tactical team building roguelike, Auto Battler. At active and passive playstyles. Another one. Requires secure boot only support window. That's a good question. I'm actually not so sure. Where is our insane 5 heads, eh? I assume they just in general, usually the secure boot ones are like the mega AAA things that probably doesn't really care about like Linux and stuff anyway. Usually. Dawncaster RPG Adventure. Card Adventure, actually, sorry. Yeah, Linux will run it anyway, but I mean, yeah, it's usually for the anti-cheat for the multiplayer games, so I guess you don't need a single player in those. Those who probably enjoy Battlefield for the single player are very few. Best of story-driven RPGs with strategic decision-making of card games. Damn, son. No, Ultan did it better, dude. Ultan did it better for the RPG. See, Oxer, I see. Ultan did it better. The card RPGs, eh? Ironically, really good. Only, if only he had, like, you know, maybe Maybe a few more different colors of enemies, it would do way better. It would do way better. Let's see, actually, did anything... Did he get some more enjoyers? Maybe he gets some more enjoyers. Well, mostly positive, there it is. People realizing what kind of gem they got there. They do be realizing that. Not worth the price though, bro. That's $8 with no sale even. Like, come on, dude. I understand, but still. Are you sheep already? Enjoy, enjoy. Long dig ice from 25. Yeah, this one I maybe read already. Still. Yeah, it's $15. Well, regional pricing, I guess. But yeah, like on sale it goes already probably like 40% off, I think I seen Ultan did. So you go below $10 for this, and you can play quite a bit in this one. So why not? Doesn't seem too bad. Well, mostly positive now. I deserve that. Needs to farm some more. Ultra-violent raids in 1970s casino hotels. And down Las Vegas mob is a drug super-powered hitman. And physics fuel top-down close combat. I get some foodie agenda there too. Classic. Insane. They're out now. I'm farming good reviews to them. Tigers and stuff there. Wonka is. And Dragon Quest. Very positive, huh? Can't be that bad, Stalk. Can't be that bad. I guess not a lot of people care about the outfits that much, probably. Probably. A reimagine, clever way to brand a lazy remake. Let's see. 30% of content was cut. Let's see. Gonna add it in the DLCs later, you know. A remastered DLCs, my favorite. Sì, so che sì. Super Bomberman. Bomberman is not even fun and crazy reviews. All Bombermans in one. This was the shit back in the day. This was the shit. Oh, the Charizard one, I see. A deficient quarter. That seemed like Ella's favorite game there. It looks like. I already own the game, I see. Probably already did play even. I guess. The horror fusion. Nothing is, I see. Well, then it's coming probably. Stables got that one all of a sudden. Then the horror and joy right there. Utilization low. I did play it already, I see. Yeah, it speaks like the early game for sure. It wasn't really much of a horror, I see. And this, the yup. Sacred, the Menace Enjoyers, I probably will play next week. We'll see when though, not so sure, but I gotta check it out. I just kind of missed it. I could play it actually a while already ago, but yeah, I was on my IRL binge there, so I missed it. I missed it before then, but yeah, I will check it out. Now the sauce about the message. No, the nugget apparently. All right, you did type it, I guess, in some weird way. Apparently. Gotta be careful posting the nugget in chat. You know, gotta be careful. With that one. Sacred about to start getting filtered from chats and everything with his name. Monica is. But yeah, Menace, we will play some. And if you are interested in getting Menace or any other Hooded Horse game, you can get it on Nexus. And Nexus has some insane cut for the content creators. It's crazy, dude. It is crazy. Let me see, unless they changed that, but I think they were keeping that cut. That cut was insane, actually. That cut was insane. Yeah, it is. Bro, like the Whisker Wood, you basically like $30 and like $26 goes to content creator. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Insane. The generosity. They are really good. Hooded Horse is a good publisher, man, so far. I swear, I'm just like, you know, praising them so much, there's gonna be some sort of like, you know, drama or some shit about them coming soon. But I think they're still good though. Business side for now at least is toward the content creators is insanely good. The Lost Starship, I was like the hello got this one too. The Space Enjoyers. The 2D space construction. This one from the early access. That 3 years, alright. Must be good. Also in the recommended there. We'll get there. Mostly positive though. Kinda better even. Does not have borderless window mode, eh? Screen blink every time you click off. Game is supposed to be chill, except chilling is not allowed because it'll make an epileptic vomit. Choose your screen resolution automatically as soon as you want to go full screen, I see. With no story and scenarios, you lose interest fast. I mean, kinda true. That is kinda true. Demon Castle. Okay, I know the publisher on this one. I know the publisher on this one already. That's the Kairesoft. I know that. I know that. Yep, that's the one. Like at first you see this style and you're like, oh, it's this one again. And then you go to the banner and you see this little dude, and it's always somewhere there in their games. And they just keep pumping. Even though this one is a little kind of different compared to some of their other games, but you still recognize it like easily. Because a lot of like assets and everything is being reused. And they just farming these. They just farming them all the time. This one released on mobile last year, I see. So they're just like porting them, alright. See. See. There it is. Yeah, they just keep farming it. Played like 3 of their games on the phone and got bored, I see. They do seem kind of like very similar though. So you played one, you probably played a whole bunch at the same time already. Astro Protocol. That'd be high stakes turn-based 4x space strategy, distilled into intense 1-hour matches. Now, 1-hour matches does sound kinda tempting sometimes, huh? Kinda. We'll see. Bondi syndrome. In turn, trapped in an endless office hell. Fight your way through demonic co-workers, get promoted, and find a way to escape this cursed skyscraper. Wonka is the classic Monday right there. The classic one. Got the Gamba too. Damn, son. They got a little bit of everything there going. Gonna be some meme stuff there. Gonna be some meme stuff. Of the playtest. 28,000 wishlist, dude. I wonder in what that will, you know, kinda convert actually. I do wonder. 100 demon cats, damn, another one. More cats. Now no cities anymore, now they just demons. Circle Empires 2. For some reason, I remember the first game a little different style-wise. Then we got rivals also. Kind of similar though, alright. I guess. But you'll see. It might be nice. Got the oily dips. I'll do it up. Oil drilling submarine. Now taking instructions from mysterious voice. Failure quota and they'll cut your oxygen. Deep sea horror, obey or drown. Oh, obviously already wishlisted. Obviously. But that sounds good. Potentially. Might be good. I had the demo too. Now Goblin Sushi got a release. I did play that one. The demo before. Actually got some like Omega combo that just kind of like completely was unbeatable pretty much, I think. Like the game was playing itself pretty much almost. Piece was nice. We'll see. Maybe I'll check the release, but we'll see. We'll see. Goblin Sushi, yeah. It was actually quite good, eh? Without the Pipega build that I got though, that probably would be quite Monka there. Potentially. Gotta feed the landlord, eh? Shadows of the Afterland, eh? Would that be? And the point and click, I see. Possess the living. The point and click endurance could be kind of nice. Can't say I'm a huge one. Oh, the Grizzle. The demo of this one was kind of not my jam. I know maybe they kind of worked on that. It looked good. Eh? The concept was kind of alright, I guess, but like something was like very off about it. Everything was like very like slow and stuff. It was like chasing that big fucking monster or whatever chasing you was also kind of more like annoying rather than anything else. Middle click the game to open a new tab, but sometimes it doesn't work. It used to kind of not work always. Eh? I sometimes just need to wait a little longer, yeah, then it works, but sometimes it was just like completely not opening whatsoever. So I kind of just stopped doing that, really. Just to be sure that it opens fast. Get the internet and everything good enough here, so you can do it now. Oh, it's the one where they return the relics, I remember. Yanking the African relics from the museum, is that? We'll see. This one might be kind of nice. Got the demo and stuff too. Seems good, eh? Alright, let's see the queue. Yup, we saw. Dude, Toad, fuck off, man. See what you do in there. Toad really wants me to get the Legate Ladius set, dude. But $20, man. Like, make it like 5, I guess. Fine, I don't need anything else, just Ladius. Like, this garbage I also don't really need, eh? 5, alright, fine, we're talking. 20 for the pack, no. Not gonna. I did get the courier, not the courier, I did get the, what was his name, dude? The Ulysses set I did get, but that was actually, I think, $5 there, so that I could justify. The starter one, yeah, this one $6 it was. All right, yeah, that was just the set and a little bit of items. So even though in the end it's kind of bad because like this actually not like the face slot, this is the whole head slot, so you can't put any head on top of that. Which I mean, kind of makes sense with Ulysses, but you know, what if I want to customize that shit, dude? I want to make something dink. You're not letting me. They know how to farm. Damn, half sorted mixed in the end, huh? Why? Thought everyone was pogging about that one. Unplayable optimization. Ah, I see. As soon as there's blood or grass, the FPS drops massively. Needs more time in the oven. Alright, I see. Classic then. Davis Great Game is amazing. For some reason, decided to release it way too early. To be honest, I think they were trying to kind of release it in time. Because like the hype about the half sword started long ago. Like they could just kind of like take too long and everyone will forget about it already. So they probably kind of wanted to capitalize on the hype still around and then already like fix things and everything. Keep going. Secret Lord, I see. Dragon Quest, so it's already the day too. Well, Karen did pump in the end. That's good. That is good. Not exactly my GM, but that was nice though. And I was like in the middle of my real adventures there to play that. Cars service together. More simulators. Another one. True Grey Feather, true. Oh, the Space Warlord Baby Trading Simulator is out. Damn, now that was actual. Now that was actual full game. Now that's Boga. Yeah, we did play the organ trading sim. That was good. Now it's the baby trading. Eugenics. Yeah, that one should be good. That one should be good. I do have a lot of people. I do have a lot of people in the Discord talking about that one already. We'll see. Maybe I'll play, maybe not. Not sure yet. Not sure yet. We'll check. If I'll get a lucky there. Oh yeah, this should be some good stuff. I did farm some good reviews there. My Hero Academia. Again, they're like even too... Don't give a shit to the point of not even posting any trailers there. Like, Weeb's gonna eat it anyway. No, Weeb's kinda refused to eat it that well, that looks like. But they still kinda did in the end. Similar to Chivalry. Okay. Got the online penis and stuff, alright. No, there's the Carmageddon. There it is, huh? Well, I mean, that ain't at least like mostly negative or something. I was kind of expecting like with Painkiller initially, right? So, could be worse, I guess. Could be worse. Nothing like the original, right? Ugly game, see. And the rogueliking and stuff too, right? Floaty driving, no self-damage mode, a lot of aim, zombies are lame, looks ugly, no drivers, zero charm, overpriced, alright. TLDR, I guess. I guess. And once the train got the DLC. Destiny of the real footage there. Both trains really good, but I never really got into it too much. Like, it's nice, I like it, but then I never kind of got into it. It's also like so kind of massive and so much content that it's hard to find the time, man. Hard to find time. Very, very, very juicy first-person incremental game about growing berries. Tossing them down and orbit is full. One case. New friends with sentient berry pals. Grow and control the whole as you unearth why nobody leaves this accursed garden. Wonka is. Very fun, but interesting. Can be fun and interesting at the same time. And the starship, so that one too. Alright, let's see. Okay, get them news then going. Give me. Boom. Alright. About Steve D being there. The menace is going. Damn, Neo actually is farming too pretty good, huh? And the Arc Raiders are still up there somewhere. Insane. Insane. The High Guard is trending. Boog. What is going on there? No, at least it kind of like stabilized, I guess, in a way. Yeah, 5v5, yeah, seems like it, seems like it. I like the drop off, basically. Like in 3 days, sorta. Even in 4, okay, fine. They just kinda like, poof. Well, I mean, it's early access and stuff. They're gonna be updating, they're gonna be fixing, so still might be alright, as long as they still have like money to support, you know, themselves. While they are doing it, then it should be kinda alright. But seems like the main issues are just like kind of weird decisions. Like in such a game with like massive mobs and everything, having only like 3v3 mode where like, you know, everything is empty. Like, why? So 5v5 seems kind of good, eh? Feel good about the fact Geoff got slapped? I mean, I don't think he got slapped per se. If anything, Geoff kind of got, you know, like, punished for the good intentions. And that's bad, in my opinion. Because he literally just, like, provided a really good, free promo slot and his show to some devs, free of charge and everything. That's a good thing. Kinda sucks that it turned out that way, though. 3 games in one and the game suffered for that. I mean, we didn't have that before. Very similar from the Amazon games. Crucible, wasn't it, right? I didn't even play it on stream. That was trying to be kind of like this like third-person, you know, character-based shooter with mobile elements, sort of farming some mobs and resources and stuff. And that shit flopped, so... Stick to creating events and leave a curating to gamers. I mean, not arguing, true, absolutely, but I mean... When he, instead of like, you know, selling that spot to someone for a shitload of money, he just like, you know, tried to boost some developers by that. That's a good thing, why not? Kind of like unlucky that ended up being this kind of game, even though like, I mean, it's not particularly bad. It's like, kind of like not perfect, but it's also early access and stuff, and I guess Joe played and enjoyed it, so like, why not? I think that's not a bad thing. It is kind of sad though that it ended up like this, because now he's probably not gonna do that too much, right? Trying to promote something, because he got so much shit that now he's gonna be probably afraid of doing that, and that means that, yeah, everything gonna be fully commercialized on the show probably. Ika Geek, hello, how we doing? Probably, and that's a bad thing. Call should be left to those who want the gaming landscape, really looks like. I mean, not so sure actually, not so sure. Like, maybe it shouldn't be on such, like, you know, kind of really good epic spot in the show. Fine, maybe. But I mean, I don't think it's like exactly particularly his fault though. Like, he promoted something, and I don't know. I think reaction was still kind of out of proportion though, honestly. Like in my opinion, that was overblown. Like, okay, fine, you wanted maybe to see something like Super Poga as the last show, right? As the last announcement. I understand, yes, okay. But like, why hating on what was shown? Like, you know, because it wasn't exactly the Pogi Wogi game that you expected. Well, I mean, that's the organizers, like, that's not the game's fault whatsoever. Like, why everyone, like, by default, you know, just kind of, like, started shitting on it just because it, like, kind of took this last spot there when they expected it to be something better? I don't know, man. Weird. I feel it's weird. Forced devs to release earlier than they wanted? Nah, I don't think it forced devs to do anything, really. Hey, Orpheus, hello. It's just that they wanted to... They just were developing this stuff, right? They probably wanted to release it in early access, like, quietly, randomly, right? And then some people would join, some people who would be interested in the concept, they would, you know, participate in testing and development, right? And then slowly they're gonna prepare it and then already start the marketing when they got something better, right? But instead they kind of got this, like, you know, push that created expectations from people. But I think, again, it was weird. Like, I think it was kind of dumb, in my opinion, to just, like, shit on the game by default just for the fact that it was, like, showcased to so many, you know, people. I don't think that was a good thing, shit on it that much. Enter with zero expectations. Basically, yeah. It still probably wouldn't do that well, because, yeah, the game is also kind of flawed. But it's not completely, like, you know, the complete garbage and everything. Just need some work, get some feedback, and it'll be fine. Unless they kind of, like, gonna run out of monies and that's it, but we'll see, I guess. We'll see what's gonna happen. And we'll see what happens. It'd be kind of interesting to see what would happen with it if it wouldn't be promoted whatsoever. But yeah, that's, you know, kind of like one of the cases when, like, what was the road to hell paved with good intentions, right? So the Horizon Hunters with pretty mid reception. That's the fun part. I can't even check that shit, dude. I guess that's the glorious Sony again. So I can check it from my Steam up. Because my Armenian region here, it's not gonna be in Armenian, Georgia, and all of those countries, and I can check it from the browser, so it's not in Vietnam also. So basically, I don't fucking know. I guess PlayStation Plus whatever thingy again, PlayStation account or something required. So already starts good already. Yeah, they hate money, dude. We'll get to that one though. Let's go. Let's hop on the news then. City Skylines 2's UI is getting an extreme makeover as new developers Iceflake take the reins, plus snow that settles. So new developers are already starting to work on that stuff. Working on the game, improving aspects of environment, ground texture. I need to improve the optimization, man, that's the main thing. It doesn't say it needs PSN account. It's one of those cases with one of the games that was also like when they locked the PSN accounts, right? A lot of games were removed from sale in a bunch of regions, right? And then some games returned when they removed the requirement for the account, but some games still were blocked for some reason. I guess they just kind of overlooked because, like, I mean, who cares, right? Like, the whole fucking region, the millions of people, like, bro, we don't need those monies. Like, whatever, man. Ashes of Creation director quits over decisions he could not ethically support as a staff report mass layoffs. Oh yeah, that was the ding stuff this week, I guess. A living reactive world MMO engulfed in chaos weeks after hitting Steam. Well, rip that one, looks like now. Rip this one. 29th of January was the blog post there. Few problems such as cheating and performance issues, but a few players noted that this director's letter was attributed to the AOC team rather than Sheriff. In hindsight, some of the language in the post strikes me as rather ominous. Game development, especially at this scale, is rarely linear. Systems evolve, assumptions are challenged, foundations must sometimes be reworked, so what comes next can stand strong. Process can be uncomfortable, particularly in an open development environment where you see the teams as they are stitched, but it's also what allows us to build something ambitious, durable, and worthy of your investment. Saturday, Director of Communications Margaret Cron abruptly declared on LinkedIn that her time at Intrepid had officially ended, claiming that other developers had lost their jobs. Don't work there anymore, so I can't answer that for you personally. I don't know how they would make it when the heart and soul of the product, the amazing dev team, was all laid off. So yeah, everyone was pretty much ripped there. A limited statement in my personal capacity and not on behalf of the company regarding the situation. Control of the company shifted away from me, and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with or carry out. This is like very sus though. This one is like very sus though, what exactly happened there? Because apparently board and investors were there for a very long time. But it seems like dude, I guess, kinda couldn't really repay them or something. So they started like taking more control over the company instead of, you know, like getting repayment from him. And then at some point dude decided to probably hop off. And I guess like the rest of the team just basically was kind of like dead after that. Ashes of Creation quietly removed from Steam following a wave of articles about the layoffs and departures. So yeah, looks like that one is probably dead. Servers are still up though, I think. Can you still see it here? You can still kind of see it here. Yeah, still something, but now I guess it's completely dead, you know. Now it's completely dead. Game cancelled. Oh yeah, they put like the marker here. Whoop. Yeah, like MMO gets in some sort of turmoil, people just like instantly fuck off. Because like investing time into something that's gonna be like, you know, dead after some time, but when it's like, you know, kind of like murky future and you're not sure, even though to be honest, like everyone who was playing, they would get their shit wiped later anyway. That was already like announced, everyone knew about it, so whoever was already playing that, they already knew what they're doing. I mean, I hope so, at least. To be honest, like for the MMO, it wasn't doing like that bad. For the new MMO, completely like alpha version or something, like, and actually I don't remember, was it subscription based already from the get-go? I don't remember actually. Was it already subscription in alpha, or was it just like buy to play in alpha? I don't remember. Anyone remembers? Because it was like buy to play with like $50 game actually for the alpha version of the MMO. That is quite a chunky request there. If it was also subscription on this in the same time, that the fact that it actually survived for like 2 months basically with subscription being a thing, that is quite impressive. Huh? Like it did go through the first like cycle of subscriptions then, if there was subscription, like 11th December, 13th, 12th. That kind of does seem like it could be like the drop off of people who just stop playing due to subscription, but not so sure though. Arthur with the streak. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, man. How you doing? How are you doing? Everyone got their postcards already? Arthur was the first, I think. Insane speed, dude. Insane speed. 17k reviews also. Man, that's actually really sad though. Not gonna lie. I wasn't exactly like a believer in the new Messiah of MMOs, not a World of Warcraft killer, but I did kind of believe that it might be something interesting to play, dude. Cynic, I see. I was still kind of hoping that we're gonna get some decent MMO to play. I think even Ultan was kind of like interested in this one because it did have some boomer vibes to it, you know, like the boomer MMO vibes, sorta. And now I guess it's kind of gone. Well, I mean, maybe, you know, the ashes, the phoenix will rise, but it's gonna be hard though for them. I guess we'll see. Ultan positive about games. I mean, sometimes I guess. Sometimes I guess. Very sad, but there was like some saucy stuff though, with like the main guy there. He was like some sort of like multi-level marketing, you know, connoisseur back in the day, and I think some of the investors who took over, they also kind of connected to this like multi-level marketing scummy thingies. So like I don't know, it's a bunch of some sauce stuff going on there. I'm not sure who to blame, but you know the problem is that the game is pretty much kind of dead. That's the sad part. Can't just continue making the map bigger and bigger. Why Bethesda want to expand Fallout 76 inwards, not just outwards. Shift from the outskirts to inwards, make the game thicker. New systems, new ways to engage with existing content, those are all very much on the menu for this year. I mean, that sounds like the way, for sure. Like, what's the point kind of expanding the map more when, like, most of the old regions are, like, not needed, not used whatsoever? Like, sure, I guess it's kind of fun to have, like, new region, new enemies and everything, but your old regions are, like, have a lot of content, but no one does that content because it's irrelevant. There's, like, so many events and stuff you could do, the old events, that a lot of people probably haven't done since, you know, the NPC update or something. Pretty much ever, maybe never done. Because like some events they removed from rotation, you kind of need to go there manually to activate them, and no one does. No one fucking does, because like you don't need to. You don't get the good rewards for that. Hey Sneeps, hello. How we doing, man? Hello. How we doing, man? How's life? So yeah, they do need to rework a bunch of like old content. Not even like changing the content much, just like rewards. Just change the rewards for that so it makes sense to do them compared to other things, and people will do them. You really don't need more territories and stuff. And just make that content recycled a bit. That's the problem of many MMOs in my opinion. Like they just kind of like, all the new content makes the old content usually obsolete. And it's just a waste, because like it's content, right? It was made and spent effort into making it, spent time, and then it just becomes like completely useless, you know, after some time. Kind of like Destiny in general started like cutting that content, right? Like old content just being removed from the game just to kind of decrease the amount of, you know, like the space that game takes, and that's just like, come on, dude. Oh, I see, Snips, I see. Oh, it happened already, the insane election, I see. Gonna be the fiesta tomorrow, Wonka is, I see. Good luck, good luck. Can be that bad, can be that bad. This shouldn't have happened. Then GOG reportedly claim sale banner made with AI tools ended up on store by mistake. See how it is. The Ohio meme became real. Yeah, they did that, the Ohio. Indeed, indeed. Honestly, in my opinion, in 76, what they need, if they expand the game, right, with new territories, they do kind of need to expand towards the games we already know. Like, add some recognizable regions, that would be cool. No, Dev Gustavania. Hope it will arrive. Hope it will arrive. Hope it will. Mistake we got caught, I guess. Regarding the quality of the asset, the banner was a work-in-progress asset that we mistakenly allowed to be displayed on the storefront. Shouldn't have happened. Failed on at least 2 levels. Quality control of the asset that landed on the front page, and then reacting quickly enough when we noticed the error. Want to confirm that this work-in-progress asset was indeed made with the help of AI tools. We hear your disappointment with the use of this technology and see that it's a sensitive topic for many of you. Monica is... unable to comment publicly on our internal processes or tools. I got the Discord message, this one. General approach of use of AI, emphasizing that the game sellers don't have the infinite resources of the industry giants and that they experiment with tools that can allow us to do more with the limited hands we have. Been testing different technologies since our beginnings. Some experiments are successful and some, like this banner, are not. Exploring various tech gives us the reach of a much larger team, so we never have to settle for doing less. Yeah, I wonder how much they have even, like in terms of team for GOG. Yeah, 5 years of Valheim, dude. It's been 5 fucking years. Like, what the fuck? Like our playthrough with the boys, or the super key countries and everything, all that shit, and the Trollge, all that was fucking 5 years ago already. Like, what the fuck, dude? What the actual fuck? Been some time. Still feels like it was like very recent to me. It was last time we played even stuff together, I guess. Sì, Kagika, sì. See, could be. That could be. Civilization 7's big test of time update that will bring back playing as one Civ for the whole game is set to drop this spring. Then more news for Ulton. Before that, another smaller bringing nested tooltips and more Civ balancing is due. Damn, they don't have the nested tooltips still? Dude, come on. Like all the like, you know, like smaller 4Xs are flexing that shit all the time nowadays, eh? And they don't even have that yet. We'll see. At some point it will be kinda nice to play probably when you can get it on some Giga sales and stuff. I wouldn't mind really. Ubisoft reportedly fired Assassin's Creed designer who spoke out publicly against return to office as union reps call for CEO to resign. Oof, the shitfest continues. David Michel Cromp posted last week that the company has suspended him for alleged breach of the duty of loyalty. What the fuck? Been put on unpaid disciplinary leave after recently criticizing the policy change on the social media platform. Monka is terminated by Ubisoft effective immediately. It was not my decision. I won't be discussing internal details or circumstances. I am taking a time to regroup and will share next steps when appropriate. Asked about the firing, Ubisoft provided following statement to Kotaku by a spokesperson. Sharing feedback or opinions respectfully does not lead to dismissal. We have a clear code of conduct that outlines our shared expectations for working together safely and respectfully, which employees review assign each year. When that is breached, our established procedures apply, including an escalation of measures depending on the nature, severity, and repetition of the breach. Will it be yellow? A corporate during COVID, work from home is good to keep stocks increasing. Nah, I think it was because it was, the only option they had. So that's it. That's why they thought it was good. Maybe they didn't even think it was good. That was just necessary. That's it. That's it. Ubisoft's decision to force staff back into the office, potentially costing those who can't do so due to various personal circumstances their jobs, has been one of the main areas the unions organizing strikes on behalf of Ubisoft staff that represent object to. A number of staff have reportedly been left feeling as though they've suffered a betrayal at the hands of top management they can't trust. In the same article from game developer Ubisoft devs who serve as representatives for the Solidaires Informatique Union, Marc Aruchle and Shakib Matawi have publicly called for CEO Yves Guillemot to resign. I think Guillemot should move away at this point. I think the level of hate people have for him means he should move on. Then we could build some sort of trust again. The Outer Worlds 2 sounds like it's not getting a follow-up anytime soon, but Obsidian plan to give Avowed some wacky cousins. Yeah, I guess the money, yeah. I mean, I do feel it's all kind of like, I mean, this is like, the tinfoil hat moment, but I still do think that it's some sort of like fucking, maybe not five-head play, but at least kind of like trying to make a play out of like the bad, situation. Like they try to probably like do some sort of buyout or something, or some other shit, just like dropping stonks and everything super hard, so later they can like rebuy everything for super cheap, or like do some sort of reorganization or something, which they already kind of did, right, with Tencent's help. So it's all seems kind of like some insane 5D chess shit there, with like Tencent involved, a new entity, stocks dropping and stuff. It's gonna be some shit fest there, dude. I feel. We'll see though, but that seems like too much shit going on for them. Kind of like on purpose almost. And despite the marketing bluster, studio are admit releasing 3 games in 2025 was the result of things going wrong. Yes, you guys see. Well, I mean, to be honest, if such things happen, you still have like, the software, right, that allows you to check people and have some sort of control if people are actually working and stuff, like enforce that, enforce these. Don't need to kind of like get everything back in the office to do that. Avowed and Outer Worlds 2 haven't managed to hit the sales targets corporate overlords Microsoft assigned them. As it stands, Obsidian say they're keen to do more in the fantasy world of Eora, but aren't working on an Outer Worlds 3. Well, I mean, that's understandable though. That is understandable. Think a lot about how much we put into the games, how much we spend on them, how long they take. Development timescales can be sliced down from 6 years, both Avowed and Outer Worlds 2, to a leaner 3 or 4. To be honest, Avowed already wasn't exactly massive whatsoever. That was not massive at all. Seeker Geek, I see. Spacing releases helps company manage resources and not burn everybody out. Not good to release 3 games in the same year. Result of things going wrong. True. That is true. That's very unlucky though. Like, Outer Worlds 2, I still kinda do want to play eventually, just don't want to pay that much for it. And they didn't send the key, they actually put me in line for the key. Until a while actually, and I don't think I even seen that anyway, so maybe that was just kinda like an excuse basically. Well, totally it seems like a good marketing decision in the end, that a bunch of streamers didn't even get their keys or something, so, well, yeah, they did enjoy the results of that, I guess. I did kind of want to play that though, and I still kind of do. And even the VOD was kind of nice though. I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that. And mid, Outer Worlds 2 just mid plus plus. Well, I mean, I would say it was above mid though. I would say like the first one was already like higher than mid. Like if you compare it, for example, with like some other RPGs, not of like, you know, some sort of like insane pedigree, like I don't know, Greedfall 1, obviously not 2, right? Or something like that, you know, kind of like AA levels. It was alright. It was good, I think, even. But the second one, I don't know, man. I don't know. It did seem like it was good. It did seem like those, at least, like, you know, streamers that I've seen posting about it, they were, like, happy with it. Like, it was alright. And or, like, the first one more, actually. I see. Interesting. Let's see, Gustabani, I see. Focus more on doing the niche things. I mean, to be honest, the Outer Worlds 2 is exactly what they kind of should do, in my opinion. That kind of games that they kind of, like RPGs that are sort of, you know, like New Vegas-ish. Like, at least in terms of like how they look, how they play, sort of, right? Like the first person RPG, like in like Bethesda style, in a way that they were doing already for some time. I mean, why not? Even though, like, to be honest, the VOD was like better in the sense of like going away from that formula, in my opinion, because the gameplay in the VOD was really good. Gameplay was actually really fun. Like all the shit you can do there, the combat dynamics and everything, that shit was really nice. That was actually very fun. Story and everything kind of depends. I did enjoy it, but it wasn't like as dense, I guess, as some other RPGs they had. And also probably had bonus points for like the endurers of the Pillars setting. And I frankly don't remember shit from Pillars, actually. I played on the first one, and when I was playing WoW, a lot of things were very, very distant memories for me. So I didn't get those bonus points, but I still did enjoy it though. So I think WoW was kind of nice. They just kind of like got like a lot of, like with both WoW and Outer Worlds, in my opinion, they like started from negative. Like the default starting point for the game marketing was below. Like in the WoW, there was like a whole bunch of like PPGs, you know, like yelling about the Vogue and everything, as usual nowadays, I guess. But they did kind of like manage to farm a lot of those. So they were starting kind of with this like sort of already like a little negative reception that way. And with Outer Worlds, they were starting, you know, with the first game, because everyone was shitting on the first game, and they were starting like, you know, well, we kind of continuing the first game, so a lot of people by default already had like pretty low expectations. And then they also tried charging $80 for that, right? Which didn't fucking work, and they changed that strategy and lowered the price in the end. But that also probably was a bad marketing in the end. That's true, Ship, that's true. Like, I just kind of feel that they maybe had some sort of like development hell or something going, because like 6 years. Well, I guess it's because they also were simultaneously developing 2 RPGs, right, over the course of 6 years. And then kind of both ended up, I guess, maybe undercooked, sorta. So that's probably part of the reason. Kinda sad though, kinda sad though. The Epic Games Store should soon suck a bit less, with speedier load times and actual social features set for the summer. There it is. Oh yeah, the Avalon whatever thingy. Yep. That stuff indeed is way better. But also, to be honest, they were in early access for a while, and like early access I did play, it was very raw and stuff. So maybe they should kind of like, you know, use that strat for some of the RPGs, to be honest. Maybe that would work for them better. True. There's some reports on the Epic results later. I have an article for that. Will be up there. Stardew Valley 2 continues to remain a hypothetical, but Concerned Ape did actually consider making it at one point. Haunted Chocolate here, you could say, is like Stardew Valley 2, but it's a bit different of a game, so we will see. Yeah, Ship, yeah. I do think so. There is a lot of like, yeah, people who just consider it bad by definition, by default. Consider doing a sequel. I would, and in fact I would love to, because it would just be fun to work on a whole new set of characters, whole new world. Maybe capture some of that original energy that I had back in 2012 when I started working in Stardew Valley. There's something fun about a number of possibilities in a whole new world, which I think would be fun for me. It'd be fun for my team. We'd be really excited about it. It's a bit difficult because people are so attached to Pelican Town and to the villagers in Pelican Town. I do fear a little bit that if it's a whole new cast of characters, people might feel put off by that. A time when I was starting to work on Stardew Valley 2, but I don't know, for various reasons, I moved over to Haunted Chocolatier instead. Haunted Chocolatier, you could say it's like Stardew Valley 2, but it's a bit different of a game, so we'll see. And those people are expecting his successor game to essentially be a sequel to the beloved farming game, something that weighs on him quite heavily. It's been a constant struggle. It's like, do I just do whatever I want and not think about the existing player base, or do I try to please the existing player base? And I feel like there's just going to have to be a little bit of a balance between those things. I think with that you need to kind of like go maybe with the kind of Dead Cells approach in a way, right? They just got the studio that was still working with the player base for Dead Cells, and they themselves just move on to work on what they want to do. But that's kind of tricky though, to find a studio that will manage to still support the game in a way, kind of, you know, that that players will accept and they feel like it's you doing it. At least it's nice for the dude that he is probably already so kind of fine after the Stardew and everything, that he can just kind of like slowly do whatever he wants. That's it, probably. And none of those decisions are kind of like, you know, deciding the life, basically. Generative AI plays zero part in GTA 6, Take-Two boss confirms, but company do have hundreds of AI pilots and implementations on the go. Already seeing instances where generative AI tools are driving costs and time efficiencies. Now they have the Corpa going. The Corpa at it already. Yeah, still releasing November 19th. They did still confirm that again. We'll see. Do I think tools by themselves create great entertainment properties? And no, there is no evidence that that's the case, and it won't be the case in the future. Specifically with regards to GTA 6, generative AI has zero part in what Rockstar Games is building. Their worlds are handcrafted, that's what differentiates them. We'll see, we'll see. I guess in this one it's already kind of too late also to implement, that's in the pipeline anyway. Epic will lean harder on Fortnite to drive third-party sales on Epic Games Store with 100 licensed tie-ins a year. 100. And Monka is... Oh yeah, the year in review we kind of did see. Well, we will see actually, I do have an article about that one. We'll see. Epic processes only around 7% as many third-party payments as Steam, vastly underreports economic activity as devs on Epic Games Store are free to process their own payments and keep 100%. And many major games like GTA do so. Got some flag for that comment, I see, another one. I bet on the only horse you have there, yeah. Already trained people to get stuff for free on that store. Epic exclusivity deals backfired for developers. Understand Epic entirely funded Alan Wake 2, but this altruistic pro-developer talk doesn't sit well with them when Remedy seemingly went in financial crisis. And because they couldn't tap Steam for Alan Wake 2 sales, suffering potentially hundreds of millions in lost revenue. Remedy subsequently pushed back against those, arguing that the publishing deal with Epic was very fair to Remedy, and without addressing the point about missing out on Steam revenue. Ultimately, the viability of the store sits on their ability to convert hundreds of millions of Fortnite players into mid-hardcore premium gamers, and I don't see the Fortnite brand attempting to do that. Which brings us back to Epic's latest effort to leverage the marketing power of Fortnite. According to Epic's 2025 review post, the first of the new Fortnite cosmetic tie-ins will be available in the first half of the year, which with confirmed partners including Capcom, MiHoYo, Pearl Abyss, S-Game, Mint Rocket, and Kakao Games. Can expect a Resident Evil Requiem cosmetic to start with. There it is. Well, I mean, I assume they're just gonna do this stuff with, like, you know, you buy the game, you get like some Fortnite cosmetic on that same account and shit like that, probably. I guess. We'll see. It could be kind of working. It could be, but they do need to convert the Fortnite enjoyers into someone who's gonna be getting some other stuff. Because a lot of Fortnite enjoyers, even according to old reports back in the day, they don't even know what Steam is. But the thing is, they also probably don't even care and don't even want to know about other games too much. They just play whatever they have. Fortnite, some Roblox or whatever, and they don't really care about anything else until somehow they learn, I guess. Amazon's Fallout Countdown delivers possibly the only thing more pointless than a New Vegas or Fallout 3 remaster. Yeah, I said it. Yes, 3D version of Mr. House's Lucky 38 penthouse in its pre-war state. Kick. I was kind of like still hoping that they will maybe announce that, but now they're gonna wait until I start my replaying of New Vegas and then they're gonna announce it. Seen the seasons? I'd say like 3 episodes for the second season for now. Haven't seen all of it yet. Haven't seen all of that yet. First one I did, of course. Second one I kinda didn't catch up fully yet. Gonna need to find some time. I was doing it during the travels, but now the travel's kind of over for now. But I still need to kind of probably look into it. I'll watch that. Yeah, so Atom RPG 2 is a thing now. So it looks like they kind of released and got rid of the fantasy one now, because that one is not Hogan whatsoever. The Sword Haven. Yeah, that one is not exactly a foggy wookie one. So it looks like they just 1.0'd it and done. And I mean, sad, but I do be happy that they're returning to ATEM though. I am happy about that. Even though this looks kind of weighted thing though, I'm not so sure. We'll see about that. Like this kind of isometry is with this kind of graphics looks kind of dank. I don't know, kind of like a bit of uncanny valley there, sorta. True, so true. Well, I mean, they still were working on it for a while, but yeah, I guess people probably not very happy about it though, that they kind of like still dropped it in like a year or something. Yeah, ship, yeah. I mean, honestly, like a lot of things, like I played the demo and it did feel like ATEM. The thing is, like in ATEM, the setting and stuff carries. Like a lot of people enjoy the setting, enjoy kind of like Falloutishness of that, right? In fantasy game, no. I just saw like how kind of like punishing it is, how PPG it is in the very beginning, and I was just like, no. Like for something post-apocalyptic, I'm kind of ready to take it because it's still kind of a bit original like setting that they created there. This like kind of like this like Soviet like post-apocalyptic shit that was interesting. Generic fantasy, nope, not really. True ship, true one. Doubt they're gonna be going ham with that one. But I mean, that's good that they're returning to ATEM, even though yeah, I'm not so sure if I'm like that crazy big fan of the looks of this one for now. We'll see though, I guess. You all have driving there also, like some mini game or something. That actually I kind of don't mind though. We'll see. I would actually enjoy, unironically probably, even if they would try to do some sort of like third person or something. Post-apocalyptic also and stuff, obviously. Like, I wouldn't mind. I would like either take that or still the same old kind of like the first game was. One of those I would gladly take. This for now, I'm not so sure. I guess we'll see more. Of Hodum, melancholic first-person parkour adventure set in dystopian brutalist city. Bureaucracy turns a simple task into an odyssey. The biggest structure parkour, I guess. Got the beta there too, huh? It's surf but depressing, yeah. There's like a bunch of like this like brutalist, like bigger structure games that recently. What was the name of that one? The great the game with like the concrete skies and everything. What was they called it somehow? Like was it like the gray core or like was it the concrete core or something? That's kind of not too bad. I do like that. I do like that setting. Familiar, feels like home. GOG won't be making absolute statements in either direction about their future approach to AI use. We understand that using new technology doesn't mean skipping human judgment. A general negative reception of the use of AI-generated materials would lead the storefront to steer clear of the tech going forwards. Not planning on making absolute statements in either direction. AI tools are one of many technologies we test and try out, and in some contexts it generally helps us push the company and the mission forward. What we will change though is how and where those tools are used. We understand that using new technology doesn't mean skipping human judgment. I mean, that makes sense though. Like, not the hill you want to die on, honestly. Because yeah, it might be Might be right now all the molding and stuff about it, and rightfully so, but I think it's not going anywhere. So like saying that you're gonna use it, gonna be making a lot of people mad in the moment. Maybe not in the future, but at least now. And that might take a lasting effect. Saying that we're never gonna use it, then you probably ended up actually using it eventually, and people will start, like calling you out and stuff on that. So probably better just not to do it, really. Navigate situation, in the moment. Without dying on them heels, eh? Scratch that. Well, that was the news about this before, right? Or did I edit that one out there? Maybe I did, actually. Well, yeah, the Steam machine is delayed after all, and Valve confirmed RAM shortages will affect pricing. We have work to do, says new blog post. Instead of early 2026, Valve now only aiming to ship the hardware trio in the first half of the year. There it is. We announced these products in November, planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now, but the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. Limited availability and growing prices of these critical components mean we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and pricing, especially around Steam Machine and Steam Frame. Even wait for the controller? True. Our goal is shipping all three products in the first half of the year has not changed, but we have work to do to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce. Being mindful of how quickly the circumstances around both of those things can change, I'll keep updated as much as we can as we finalize those plans as soon as possible. Rip that one then. I guess they want to kind of like, not spread out the hype or something. And like if they just release the controller alone first, then it might be not as fog. And they're probably gonna ship the controller as like, like a bundled options with other things. So maybe because of that, not so sure. I can't wait too much. I mean, true, but I mean, looks like they just can't sort it. It's not like they're waiting, because they want to. It looks like they're waiting because they're trying to secure all this, like, the supply of like RAM and everything. And they probably have some already prepared, right? They probably have already like some stockpile waiting for the moment, but it's probably kind of still small stockpile, right? If they like drop it like now, they're gonna probably like run out of the stock and just, have like huge lines, scalpers, which will still probably happen, but I assume it will be even worse now. So they just kind of like trying to increase the stockpile, and by the same time new items in that stockpile already cost more, so they need to kind of figure out some sort of like, like average price between like, first models and the last models there, and then they kind of like ship it, I guess. Fallout New Vegas Van Buren Remake mod Revelation Blues has a new name and a second demo dropping soon. Very, very close to releasing a Tibbetts demo that will go alongside last year's Burham Springs one. A remake of a game that never existed. Well, I mean, true, but there was like a pretty massive demo of that, I guess, that did exist. That I did play on stream actually, even too. And now they're gonna make the, already making the mod out of this. They already do. We'll see, we'll see. Like some things in the Van Buren, we did do the sessions of the design document reading for Van Buren also. I think I didn't read all of them actually. I think like some games released and I kind of switched to that, but I did read a bunch, and yeah, like some areas and stuff were really nice. Like the concept on some of the things was really cool. But not everything, no. Not everything. Some things I wasn't a huge fan of, I guess. Same broad story envisioned by Fallout Van Buren, but restructured and expanded to form a cohesive playable experience. Project's primary narrative goal is to take the disparate plot threads and unfinished concepts found in original design documents, including, for example, NCR, a Brotherhood conflict, a great tribal war between Caesar's Legion and the Daughters of Hecate, fight for the soul of the Morban state, and much more. weave them into a satisfying, unified narrative that adheres to the main plot as described in design documents. Players assume the role of a new protagonist released from captivity in 2253 known as The Prisoner, and the story is set in an alternate continuity that predates and reinterprets the events of Fallout New Vegas. Fortunately, due to many Van Buren concepts being folded into Fallout New Vegas, we cannot set the project in the same timeline. Secondary goal is to incorporate many of the modern gameplay conveniences introduced through Fallout New Vegas and its more than 15 years of modding, while preserving distinctive mechanics and design quirks of classic Fallout found in the original design documents. I think there was like a Unity also like a remaster, I guess a remake of sorts, because like I feel like trying to put this in the New Vegas rails might actually be quite tricky. Making it, you know, the same as it was intended to be as the what's the name, the isometric RPG probably would be kind of better and easier, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm down. More Fallouting, even if it's like the fanfic Fallouting, as long as it's good, I'm okay with it. And this has been a heartbreaking. Laid off Ashes of Creation devs want to get final paychecks and compensation, says former comms head. Oh, there we go. Who would have thought? Intrepid would lay off 100 people on 28th of January. Alright, told them changes were coming. I did not yet know who would be affected and that I wished I had more certainty to offer. Could not live with myself if I did not give them advance notice. These people who deserve to be treated like human beings. January 30th, having gotten confirmation of who would be affected, Kron spoke individually with the members of her team. Those who were staying began working on ways to move forward. Even those who knew they would be leaving offered their support. And then on 31st January, we were all informed by a confusing email that we would be laid off, along with a worker adjustment and a retraining notification notice. Despite the warn notice, Kron says that none of us receiving our final paychecks, 60 days notice and pay outlined under the Warn Act, PTO payouts or other compensation owed. Let's see. Must receive written notice 60 days before the date of mass layoff or plant closing and is otherwise entitled to seek damages for back pay and benefit for up to 60 days. Entire development team working extremely hard, pulling long hours and wishes with all our hearts that we could give you Ashes of Creation. There are no words that fully express how sorry we are that this journey ended this way. Should pursue a refund, you deserve it. Ambiguity about whether Ashes of Creation players are in position to seek refunds. According to the original 2017 Kickstarter pitch, backers were entitled to one if the game never made it to release. The game did come out in Steam Early Access this December, attracting mixed reactions. A lot of speculation that Intrepid rushed out and finished versions simply to avoid that Kickstarter refund provision. Ah, there it is. Now the player is suspicious the creative director Steven Sheriff, who left the company shortly before the mass layoffs after allegedly disagreeing with Intrepid's board. Not clear who Intrepid's board members are. Have made a few inquiries, and some players have pounced on the fact that only Sheriff and his husband are listed as company officers in California, a California state filing from December 2025. Sheriff blaming his own mishandling of Intrepid on the fantasy board. A counter-argument there is that the document in question doesn't require companies to list every board member. Kron addressed some of the claims on Reddit, with this caveat that I was just a person running marketing, communication, social, CS, etc. Had departments that I was focused on. I was not privy to senior C-level leadership information. Regarding Sheriff, she writes that, from my experience, Steven was always kind, generous, and looked out for us. This has been heartbreaking. Monica is... Ask what remains of Intrepid to comment on for comments. Yeah, I wonder what remains even if everyone left though. On the board, only the Corpa left there. The Pale Piper. Santa Crest ability and a story-driven precision platformer inspired by the Pied Piper myth. Navigate the key interconnected world where movement is your only defense, no combat, just unforgiving consequences. Yeah, this one was like posted in a rock paper shotgun, and yeah, that's Not exactly the insane marketing you get there. That's what you get being posted in media like that nowadays sometimes. Doesn't really have that crazy pool, you know, like it used to. By the looks of it. By the looks of it. From the whole article you get 5 reviews out of that. That is not pulling too much. And that's, I guess, the reviews that got the game for free. Doesn't seem like... doesn't show here, actually. So they totally don't qualify for the... what the count looks like, though. Very unlucky. Never say never. Civilization 8 could be a proper early access game, comments Civ 7 producer. Firaxis are somewhat jealous of devs taking this route. Well, there you go, about the big studios and early access. There it is. Based on the reaction to Civ 7, devs are trying to get hold of that feedback earlier in development of new mechanics and systems. The worst kept secret if the world that we've had this external test team for quite a few years called our Frankenstein group. Expanded the larger, more structured playtesting program, Firaxis Feature Workshop. Officially embracing full early access development, not just pre-order baiting advanced access, would surely make a lot of sense for Civ, even discounting the ire aimed at Civ 7. After all, even the best 4X strategy games tend to evolve a lot throughout their shelf lives. Well, that's why they sell DLCs for that, though. Like, if they release an early access, they're not going to be able to kind of, you know, farm the DLCs that much. Like, they would actually need to develop the game with the feedback for free, basically. I don't think they're going to go for that. Developers maybe want to, but Corp are not gonna want to. They rather release, like, you know, some trash and then, like, fix it through a bunch of DLC releases that they also gonna sell. Viewership, yeah, true. Don't think you need early access for that, really. To be honest. As developers, we're always looking at that jealously because we see that it's a great opportunity. Yeah, not gonna be able to charge full price for that, not gonna be able to sell DLCs for that, so it's gonna be kinda tricky to do. A Rust gets a rusty boat building, so you can sail in search of ghost ships, floating cities, and tropical islands. That's some dang ships right there. No, Rust still keeps pumping, dude. Back when I was like playing it close to release, that didn't seem like it's gonna be like something that will be evolving and developed for that long, dude. When did we even play? Like 2013 or something? Online cooperative game originally spun off from Assassin's Creed Shadows, reportedly been cancelled. Another one. The game was originally intended as DLC for the series' latest. Another one. Oh, they made DLC, and as a result, the decision turned into standalone game using bits of Shadow's map with the intention to host invite-only alpha as soon as May of this year. Except, well, as mentioned, it's been canned, something Ubisoft Tennessee was only told last week. Tasked with using the technical advancements of the team made to make it easier to add multiplayer modes in the future games. However, those left with no project to work on currently feel unsure of what is next for them given Ubisoft's recent actions. Bonka is... Yeah, like you're a Ubisoft employee and you just see that the game you were working on is like cancelled or something. Oh, fucking rip, dude. Time to start packing up, probably. A lot of survival games are really boring. Abiotic Factor developer says many game makers are too focused on mechanics and not enough on the vibes. Them vibes, dude. Kinda. I think it's still both though. Like no matter how good the vibes are, if it's like if it's dog in terms of mechanics and everything, then like no one really cares about it too much though. Like the vibes work in co-op, and that's why I think like Abiori can say that because it is like co-op first pretty much game, right? So like sure, if you're making like the friend slope, co-op slope, then vibes are pretty important for sure. If it's like single player, and then vibes are good, but you do need some good gameplay though, because otherwise you just get bored. No matter how good the vibes are, if mechanics are shit, then playing it solo will get boring really fast. A lot of survival games very boring. Find a lot of them just ticking off boxes and going through the motions. They have hunger, thirst, all this other stuff, but they don't have anything of substance. Find a lot of survival games and just doing mechanics, flooding content in, and it's so meaningless. It's iterations of the same thing. I play one game and I play another and it looks different, but it's got the same mechanics that I just played and no story to set it apart. I mean, that is true though. I'll try out a survival game on next fest. My timer is 7 minutes per game before I'm like, not interested. I loaded up with stuff to do. What's missing? Keen says attention paid to the world. All played early access survival game number 27. It's in the forest with trees chopping, picking up rocks, but there is no wind or ambience in the air because it's not finished yet. If you're going to ship the game to the public, make sure it has some of the mood and the atmosphere. I don't know if I'm that good of a game developer. I don't think we've turned the survival genre on its head or anything, but we know how to establish our tone right, our mood and the atmosphere of the game. Look at Arc Raiders, that's like 90% of the battle, getting a place that people want to exist in. I mean, not fools, that is not fools. But yeah, I like... Well, with the survival games, that's the thing, though. Like, I don't think it can, like, it's phrased weird. No, not weird, but, like, not completely full, meaning here. Focused on mechanics and not enough on vibes. I think it's not because they're too focused on mechanics, but more like they're too focused to create the same mechanics. Yeah, like, they tick off the boxes. Like when it's again the same, survival game where you do exactly the same shit you do in every other game, then like none of the vibes are really gonna save it. Unless it's co-op. Like if it's co-op, then play... Like if it's co-op, people still go and play the same, shitty survivals with the box ticking. Like you can find some like random, well, we didn't get any today, for example, but sometimes you just like check like some upcoming games are freshly released and there is like some early access survival game that is like with the same UI as Rust, most likely same mechanics and everything as Rust also. And it already has like hundreds of reviews. Maybe even mixed and stuff, right? But like people buy it, people play it. And that's all I guess the devs want really, And it looks the same, and it's like there's no vibes or anything, but people will play it, because if it's multiplayer, people can PvP, people can play together, build bases together, they will play no matter which vibes and style and stuff you're gonna use. In single player though, yeah, I don't think people would play another one of those. If it's again the same, without a good story, without the good world, people probably not gonna. It did work before, like with Forest, for example, right? Like, they didn't have the story and everything, but it still was kind of like one of the kind of basic survival games initially. Like later down the line, they kind of added a bunch more like story to it. In the sequels, they got even more of that going, right? But initially it was just the regular one, and it worked back then. But nowadays, I think there's so much of that shit on the market that like single player will be really hard to do. And I don't know if any vibes will help you actually. I don't know if any vibes will help you to do the single player survival, kind of like Pogen. In multiplayer, for sure, though. Like in multiplayer, I think the vibes actually kind of are a big deal, though. Because you can make kind of shitty mechanics, but if it's co-op and it's funny, then people just gonna play it anyway. And like streamers gonna play it for content, and people gonna play it and stuff, and everyone will be happy. Even if mechanics are not perfect. And if the game is kind of short, even as long as the price is proper, like single player, people still gonna mold if it's short, even if it's cheap, right? But like if it's multiplayer, then like, we had fun, good enough. Yeah, Ryzen Hunter's Gathering is a co-op action take on the Robot Dino series that borrows from Fortnite, Hades, and Monster Hunter. Okay, maybe I can finally watch it here at least, because yeah, I can't find it on Steam in any region I am represented in, technically, so I guess we can see what this is. Intro, cinematic. 1 second. Get the sound on this one. It's not only yapping, I guess.
Old world came machines. For ages, they were the guardians of the natural world. And they turned against us. Now, they're getting deadlier. By the day.
Purple equals evil.
All across the land, people are dying. That's why our leader gave me this command. We have to fight back. And to do that, we need a team. Soldiers who always hold the line. And mercenaries who may have crossed it now and then. Infiltrators who hide in the dark. And champions who shine in the light. Upstarts whose stories are just beginning. And legends looking for one last shot. The last line of defense for those who need it most. Made up of the greatest hunters in the land. This is Hunter's Gathering.
Good, they get some gameplays there.
So yes, we're going with a very different look here.
Gameplay sneak peek.
Hunter's Gathering we're bringing back has collapsed. The hunters are all that stand between the tribes and the massive animal-like machines that threaten their survival. And the crisis is only getting worse. The machines have grown deadlier and they're more dangerous by the day. Someone has to step up and push back. And that is the Gathering, a crew of unlikely heroes venturing out into the wilds to stop the machine threat. We'll launch with a roster of hunters that grows over time. In our first playtest, you'll be able to play as Rem, Sun, and Axel, 3 hunters with very different approaches to combat and teamwork.
Let's fight.
Combat is at the core of Hunter's Gathering.
Incoming attack!
It is tactical, reactive, and skill-based. We took the precision and tactical depth of Horizon's combat and built it for a team environment. You'll have to read enemy movements, time your attacks, and combine abilities with your squad to take down the most powerful machines.
Yeah!
It is a challenging game, and you really have to earn that victory. Now, when you start a mission, you pick and prepare your hunter. Each has very different melee, ranged playstyles, and weapons. You can select between classes for each hunter that change their abilities, from tank to support or tactician. During a hunt, you can tinker with a roguelike build system. Every machine
roguelike,
encounter you beat
alright.
gives you powerful technical options. You've got perks, weapon upgrades, and various upgrades to your stats. In each run, you'll have to try and find the best possible combination of power-ups to take on the biggest machine.
So what exactly you're farming then, if all the upgrades you find in like the roguelike mission though?
You'll be able to explore 4 large,
what's the
very
goal
different
then?
environments at launch, each with its own look, its own atmosphere, its own challenges for your squad.
Like
to
Monster
master.
Hunter, you hunt them, you know, to
The
get
center
the
of it all
parts,
is
to
the
craft
Hunter's
your
Gallery. This is
outfits,
where
your
you upgrade
armors, your
tweak
gear,
loadout,
yeah.
and team up for the next hunt. It is also just a fun place. For example, you can hang out in your own customizable campsite and then head back into the wilds.
Let's get out there.
Horizon Hunters Gathering is all about challenge and
The live
mastery.
sloper, yeah.
The missions that you go on lean right into that.
I mean, it
During
does
the
look like
first
something that's
playtest,
gonna be
you
on
get to try
mobile also.
2 very different mission types.
Let's show them what we got.
In Machine Incursion, you fight to stop a large-scale machine assault on the tribes.
Here we go.
With your squad, you plan and coordinate which randomized power-ups to collect before facing a relentless boss machine.
Work together, win together.
Horizon Night Rain,
Time is limited,
Bog.
with a violent storm closing in that cuts down your options to get stronger.
What is all this?
The next is Cauldron Descent. In this multi-stage dungeon, the hunters take the fight to the enemy. You decide which path to take, from brutal machine encounters to really challenging obstacles. They all require teamwork.
I mean, it does add the replayability though with all this like roguelike stuff, but like that's the main thing. Will it have enough, you know, motivation to play, to replay, you know?
Tough, replayable, and built for squads.
Like Monster Hunter didn't need all this like roguelike stuff. I still was enjoying just like hunting that shit and grinding it because it's good. Will this be good enough to keep going through it? I don't know. Like the main thing I don't understand in all this shit, okay, story kind of whatever, not to mention I haven't played the second game, so kind of whatever. Like, there is already NC Soft making Horizon Monster Hunter sort of MMO thing. Why are they having 2, kind of, you know, cannibalizing each other audience? I don't understand that. Because there is already like NC Soft Horizon 1. Was it Steel Frontiers actually, or was it something else? Yeah, Horizon Steel Frontier, there it is. We already watched this one, like, way before. Like, starting from, like, the fact that it looks better, not this, like, you know, this, like, I don't know how, like, the Fortnite style. I mean, I don't know, like, maybe a bit mean, not sure to Fortnite or to who, but, like, this at least kind of looks better. Well, that's not exactly gameplay, though, wasn't it? But there was gameplay there, too. And that already did look way better. Like, it actually is going very Monster Hunter-y. Even though it's NC Soft, it's gonna be like probably like pay to win and shit like this, but it at least looks good. And this actually, by the way, is on mobile too. Like that one, previous one, they don't even like say yet about the mobile, right? So this already should run on mobile. And then they do this like low poly dog shit, and it's not even mobile, just like, you know, PC consoles. I don't know, man. I don't know. Never seen Horizon Fun IRL or on Twitch or anywhere else. Horizon's good though. First one. I haven't played the second one. Horizon is actually funny, speaking from the perspective of someone who just played Fallout, for example, right? That Horizon has one of the writers who was working on Van Buren. And that writer was working on one of the areas. I forgot the name of that one though, of the area. Don't remember, but was working on the game design document that you can find. I read that one on stream, which is basically kind of the lore of Horizon in a way. Like that part about, you know, some sort of like machine computer controlling, you know, like the society of the people who are kind of like sheltered in living in this like primal world, sorta. That they're supposed to be like, you know, like learning in the vault and then being let out, you know, in the wilds and stuff like that. Like it's actually like a lot of parallels there. And when you play it, you could kind of see that actually. Like Horizon, at least first one actually did have pretty good main story. Like the side stuff ended up being kind of a bit of a a bit of a slog to get through, and I almost quit even, but then I returned to the main story, and that was actually pretty good. Like, when you get through all those, like, past moments and everything, in the first game, mind you, I haven't played the second one. It was actually nice. It was actually kind of nice. So, I do think that there are fans in the wilds there, and I mean, the game did sell like crazy too, the whole franchise, so there are some fans in the wilds, but what they do with it, I don't know, man. I don't know. The combat challenge is the main draw for you? Yeah, exactly. Like, it's very, like, simplistic, seems like. The roguelike part might make it kind of more fun, but again, like, roguelikes are nice in general, right? When you add that mode to some games, even though, to be honest, a lot of MMOs and stuff at some point, I remember trying to add those, like, roguelike modes, and that never really went that well for them. Let's put it that way. A lot of that was kind of bad decision in the long run, so I don't know, man. I'm not so sure. The Zero desire to play it, I guess. But yeah, like, I mean, the original games, like the Zero Dawn and the Forbidden West, they did sell really good, actually. But they did, there were numbers actually quite recently, I think. They did sell those quite good. And at least the first one was kind of interesting. Not a bad game for sure. They did with both games manage to like release them exactly when there was like some other big releases happening. I don't remember exactly what was with the first Horizon, but I remember there was like some other massive releases happening exactly at that time, and it went kind of under the radars. But it's still over time with all those like PlayStation bundles, with all those sales and everything, they did still end up like selling a lot of that shit. So it did kind of work for them. But I don't get why they're like making two of the same. Now, this at least kind of looks good. The hunters gathering thing, not really. Not really. Now, this actually kind of at least like maybe shamelessly trying to yoink the Monster Hunter, but like, alright, at least that looks good. Oh yeah, true, Greyfeather, true. But this at least actually looks cool. If it's gonna be like this, that looks cool. This Hunter's Gathering thing, like this looks like something I would want to play on like console or like the PC, you know, full blown with all the depth of mechanics. That Hunter's Gathering thing looks like something I would rather play on my mobile, but I don't play on mobile, so I'd rather not play that at all, to be honest. I also don't understand this like love to add all those like characters in the games, like why can't you just like, you know, alright, today I'm gonna put the sword and, you know, get this gameplay. Tomorrow I'm gonna put that bow and get another gameplay. Why do you need to like pick some sort of characters there and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't understand the love to that. Not to mention you actually kind of like in this one you can customize your character, right? You can make your character. That already kind of removes all this VS. Like I'm pretty sure like the hunters actually, let's see. There's probably like plenty of VS to go in here, right? The bravest thing about this trailer is leaving the comment section open. Yep. Yeah, there's the Horizon Zero Income. There it is. Definition of Insanity. Horizon Forbidden Wallet. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? Amount of smirking these characters do makes me physical. Yeah, like you just kind of end up like with like those like designs you do, and like with modern gamers you like kind of can't almost, I feel. Like someone's gonna be mad about something. Just make it like the Monster Hunter. Just customize your shit on your own. Not to mention that also adds to the end game, right? Like what is like so addictive about the Monster Hunter is like you got the best in slot shit already, for example. It's still not easy, right, at all. But you got the best in slot shit. What to do now? But bro, you have all those fucking cat ears, you know, all that shit to farm, all those outfits you can farm and everything, and then you combine those outfits into some like super outfit and shit, right? And you can grind that stuff for like days, weeks, months, and then there's new shit, new events, new monsters, and then new stuff to grind. All just to like drip your character. Like when you have like those pre-made characters, if you can't even switch, you know, the gear on that character, it's probably gonna have some skills that you will be able to buy for them, right? Most likely. But like, that's dog shit. So I don't know, like I feel like the NCSoft thing looks way better than whatever they are making. Maybe it'll be fun, you know, like it does look kind of fun. It might be. It might be. I just don't know if it's gonna have like longevity and everything, you know. Not so sure. There's gonna be some playtests. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see, I guess. We will see about that one. Yeah, chat reconnected, but the stream I think is fine, right? I think. The chat arena doing the reconnect there. Oh, be back. Good. Sodicter. The last band in the tiny republic invaded by body-snatching space aliens. Music is the only weapon. Wanted Dead or Alive explore dystopian, a world where music is key to saving mankind and every gig is challenging tactical clash. Didn't have already the musical RPGs. Actually quite a lot nowadays. Even though they all try to be like the JRPGs, I guess. And this one, maybe not. That one also has like this gameplay with, you know, when you time things to the rhythm, then yeah, that's already probably something I'm gonna miss then. Quite a lot of these nowadays, huh? We abandon, music fights back. Let's see. Riffs, bass lines. Enemies, alright. Pure tactical gameplay without any rhythm QTEs and dice rolls. If it's aimed, it hurts. Okay, okay, okay. I'm alright then. I'm alright with this then. Hell yeah. Prince of Persia creator shares his sympathies with the Sands of Time remake devs. Artists put their hearts into their work. Having a project killed is a brutal experience. True. Disappointing news to all fans. Sympathy goes development team in Montreal. Can only imagine how they must feel. Having project killed is a brutal experience. Aspect of a game industry that public doesn't often see, but developers are all too familiar with them. Tough to suddenly absorb that the past 4 years of hard work you were proud of and looking forward to seeing out in the world as your new calling card will now never see daylight. Words like loss and grieving might seem exaggerated, but artists put their hearts into their work. I mean, this could sound kind of exaggerated, for sure. But you can always also kind of look at this from more, like, a rational perspective. Is like, yeah, what it says exactly. So you work for like years on some project, and then you like, you know, like project canceled, you fired, you can't even like probably like find anything much because you can't show shit. Like whatever you made never was released. Whatever you made potentially might be under NDAs and everything. Like you can't even put some stuff in your portfolio pretty much to show. So you like work for years on something, and then you can't even use it as a proper kind of like work experience. Like, well, I mean, yeah, you worked in the company at least. Hopefully you get some sort of like, you know, confirmation for that. But that's it. That's pretty much it. Nothing else there. Memories of nights and weekends spent in studio crunch instead of at home with loved ones. Sacrifices that felt worth it at the time only add to the pain retrospectively. So once their object ceases to exist. True. Okay, what's with the chat today? Are we good? Stream fine? I see like the web chat does work. I see Pimp Lord's message there. The chat arena is doing pee shit. 1 second. Restart it maybe. Come on. Come on. Load in. Server is being picked there or something, I guess. Come on, dude. What is this? The stream is going. Brother of man, work. Fucking keep the web chat for now going, I guess, for a bit. For a bit. And this sticker ball, eh? Pool game roguelike from the future. Fireballs, hit dice, earn points, add stickers, trigger crazy combos, enjoy the chaos, it's on purpose. Got the demo, eh? There goes the dankness. There goes the dankness. Oh man, someone's like, it's like fries or something. It smells like, bro, why you do this to me? I do have some food in the fridge though, I guess. I guess I'll pick some. That should be forbidden. Might check the demo, might check the demo. Killer in 13th of February. Oh, the Square Enix stuff there. The Abogus from Square Enix. A night only game of death, deceit, and deduction. Will you be a wolf or perhaps a lamb with the means to fight back? In a deception we trust. With early access also, damn son. From Square Enix. The small indie company. No funds for full release there. I opened beta test in February. 6th to 9th, huh? It's actually kind of going now. Anyone heard about this one? Anyone seen it? Anyone tried it maybe even, you know? I wonder. The Amogus likes, that shit was kind of like really popping off all the time, every time it releases. Mugenics developers reckon going for a full launch over early access is a weird thing now. There's a handful of situations where it makes sense, like multiplayer stuff. Other than that, I feel like almost anything else would be better. You're launching a complete game, and this is a weird thing now. I'm really not a fan of early access, and I feel like it originated from people needing money fast. I'm not shitting on people who do early access, but it feels strange to change the experience after people have already finished it. Handful of situations where it makes sense, like multiplayer stuff. Other than that, I feel like almost anything else would be better. Had never shown gameplay, people would be more frustrated that they still can't play it. Instead, they are getting spoon-fed bit by bit. We have fans who watch and think about what choices they would make, so they're almost playing the game in their heads and desperate for another video, they just want another run. Parent probably could have released the game, a full game in 2021 roughly, and it would have been okay. Instead, they decided their preferred approach was to give themselves space to refine the thing and to be as ready as they wanted for the Mogi adventures that await when it comes on February 10th. Well, I mean, I guess they can kinda afford that. The Bolt X Pit update, haven't tried that one. Yeah, haven't played that since the release basically. Kinda don't really feel like returning to it yet though. At some point probably, but for now, don't really feel, considering there is a bunch of other stuff to play, don't really feel like it yet. I think, if anything, I think like the roguelike games and stuff, they actually are fine in early access, because roguelike, you know, changes from run to run. Roguelike is constantly like dynamical and everything. You're gonna have some updates, they're gonna add some like items, multipliers, modifiers, right? So I think for, not just for multiplayer, but like for roguelikes and everything is also fine. With RPGs, with single-player story-heavy games, I do agree that early access is kind of weird, even though, I mean, Baldur's Gate pulled that off super successfully, right? No problems, and with the Divinity and stuff before. But I overall kind of don't like it and don't do it in the early access with like RPGs, because, yeah, unless you make it like a chapter-wise, I guess, you know, like you have like fully complete chapter and stuff that people play through, get the full story, and then go for another one. I could see that. I could see that. But I still probably would wait for the full release. With roguelikes, I mean, I think no problems. The only problem is you can burn out. That happened with for me with Hades, for example. I just like jumped in on the very release, on the early access in Epic Story yet then, and I farmed it super hard for like 100 or 2 hours, and then I kind of burnt out and never returned. I never checked 1.0 release in Hades 1 and never checked Hades 2 ever, and I still kind of don't feel like it. I kind of just managed to burn out on that shit completely. That can happen, but that in general can happen, not necessarily in early access release. Indie game film adaptation Iron Lung earns $21.5 million on opening weekend. What the fuck? Number 2 on US box office thanks to involvement of YouTuber Markiplier. Damn son. Production budget of $3 million. Points significant transmedia potential of even smaller game adaptations. Only limited international release and earned $17.8. $17.8, the value, dude, of its weekend take in the US, where it arrived number 2 on the domestic charts behind Sam Raimi Horror Send Help, the Planet of the King Submarine. I mean, I am all up for that stuff, you know. If we're gonna get like the indie game industry and indie kind of like movies industry to go with it, bro, I'm down. Corpa can do their thing. We're gonna just enjoy some, you know, like passionate creators making the media. I'm down. Yeah, I'm not sure if like the chat is still kind of like the chat arena just refuses to connect completely. The web chat does kind of work, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I see like the 500s message about the, well, actually what's on the screen pretty much. Those are the messages I see. The chat arena just refuses to connect completely. Not sure what is going on there. All of a sudden, it was fine before. No issues. That's okay. I see. In web chat, I see you guys. Yeah, I see it, and on screen chat also shows. But like chat arena, just not connecting. Whatever. I guess we just stick with the web chat for now. He's fine by me. He's fine by me then. Roguelite, turn-based strategy RPG inspired by classic tabletop dungeon crawlers like Hero Quest and Descent. Command your party intense tactical grid combat across 7 perilous realms to destroy the prismatic dragon and end the curse. Melted Monster Game Studio. Got the demo also. Got some insane dice there. I'm messing with the tech again. True. Seems kinda alrighty. Could be kinda alrighty. Sure about like the art and the animations though. Kinda like a little not my jam, personally. Tattered Banners, Mercenary Company turn-based tactics RPG set in a living simulated world shaped by your actions. Raid, bribe, steal, spy, assassinate, lay siege and more. Watch the consequences ripple through and change a realm at war. So all ton new game already being released. Pog. 11,000 wishlists in 1 week. Pog. Elton like started working on something, and that niche is already getting getting quickly populated with a bunch of other games now. They were lucky, man. They were lucky. Ashbane. Turn-based tactics RPG built around expeditions. Recruit 3 blades, grow your roster, and deploy a warband to accept paid jobs or launch your own raid. Choose your path, push deeper, and bear the cost. This style's kind of weird, but this I actually kind of like more than the previous one. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Somehow. Damn. Online PvP-ness on this one even. Wonka is. The insane actual PvP-ness even. You don't have to tell me Pyramid Head's backstory. Poppy Playtime's Georgia could stick on why less is more in horror. Former head of creative for Dungeons & Dragons discusses fuzzy logic, keeping the creature hidden, and a new golden age for video game film adaptations. Poppy's Playtime was like something I was very surprised. Like, I mean, I knew it was kind of like, you know, successful like horror game and stuff. But then I started seeing all those like characters from the game as like plushies in the stores IRL, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Is it actually that popular? The kitty coated with fluffy animals and things. Actually, it's not for kids at all. How they manage the balance? In a way, it is for kids. We have these core pillars that we adhere to, and one of them is the mixture of creepy and cute, right? There should be a certain amount of comfort, stuffed animals and bright colors and smiling things. But then also every once in a while, more than once in a while, we show teeth. Find the balance of creepy and cute. Go too creepy, it's no good, and we're going to alienate people. Go too cute, and it's the same thing. Philosophy that we call weaponized nostalgia. There's nostalgia for the 90s and early 2000s, and so we are taking all those wonderful feels and we are weaponizing them and making them scary. You like the Toys R Us color palette? Well, there's a monster behind that. How much you designing for streamers rather than players, eh? Yeah, these aspects that we call streamable moments, they might be jump scares, or they might be chases, or they might be those high points in the game that attract attention. We always keep that in mind, but never to the detriment of the game flow or the fun of the game. Much like a horror film, it's all tension and release, tension and release. Some of these moments might be release, some of them might be tension. The takeaway is we want people to engage with our lore. Interesting, so I do plan some of that. That's kinda smart. That's kinda smart, actually. Need to add some boogie woogie moments there to get the content going. Some go even further, like when they send you like the briefs about the game, you know, kind of like those press kits and everything, right? Some of them even have like the review, you know, like kind of guides and advices and stuff, when they kind of highlight, you know, things that you can make into some boogie woogie content there. And restrain yourself by not showing the creature. Talk about Jaws a lot, talk about Alien a lot. Another aspect in some of the Eastern storytelling. I don't get an answer to everything, and that's okay. In some of the cosmic horror literature, you're not held by the hand, you're not told what happened to that village, or where that old god came from, or what the motivations are, and that's okay. No, sometimes in Western storytelling, especially in big franchises, we want to turn on the lights on everything. That is expected and almost needed. And that's something that we'd like to push back on a little bit. If you turn on the fluorescence at 100%, all the mystery is gone. Yeah, but that I do agree. I'm gonna grab some food again. With that, I do actually agree. I think there's like way too much of like, you know, attempts to get some sort of backstory and lore on like everything, where we maybe don't fucking need that, to be honest. That's my kind of like also issue with, you know, like some... Alright, we have some like MOBA game, right? Or like we have fucking like shooter. Let's make like some backstories for like every like single fucking character and stuff for this shit. For every single like minion, every single mob and stuff, you know. Like, bro, you really don't fucking need to. And I do kind of agree, maybe that kind of makes sense when it's established game, established franchise, right? Established piece of lore. Because you already have like a fan base form, right? And the fan base probably kind of like becomes curious about those little details. Fan base starts to make up some of those lower bits, right? Getting some fanfics going and stuff. Then I guess it's not bad. Like you have, you know, like... You just kind of serve the fan base with with the giving them direction, you know, where to go with their fanfics and stuff, sorta. That I kinda can understand. When it's like some new game, for example, that no one yet cares about, right? And you start to kind of like pump some insane mega lore when that's not even like that needed and not that important, that I feel is a little pipiega. For me personally. Like I just like came here to like, you know, to have some fun and play some shit. I don't need to know who's you know, dead son or whatever, who is their like rival. I just want to have fun. If I do really enjoy it, maybe I wouldn't mind learning more about it. But first, make me enjoy it. That's the priority. And yeah, I guess in some games like narrative-wise, it's also kind of good probably to not open all the cards. I mean, not to mention look at like, you know, Miyazaki and fucking From Software and stuff. They don't give you no lore pretty much. Just some bits here and there, and people just make everything up in their heads themselves. And think that they're like fucking geniuses there. By making such insane deep lore. And finding some super deep meanings and hidden things that maybe weren't even there intentionally. From the beginning. So I do kind of agree with that statement. Yeah, I think in horror especially, like I think I mentioned many times already, that sometimes in many games, as soon as they show the monster, it's just kind of like complete dog. Take the lore dump and you will like it, yeah. Like that, those parts I don't really like. Alright, let's see. Did the Vietnamese try to actually make the Olivier salad, or is it kind of like the potato salad? Don't really see the sausage slices, so they're probably not exactly Olivier there. But it's tasty. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I have some optional. Yeah, the Lord drops VHS tapes. Audio tapes, we have notes. Don't know how many people not even doing that. I had the stats on that. Don't have to tell me Pyramid Head's backstory. True. I'm working on the feature film already. The chapter 5 of Poppy Playtime now already. The fuck? There was like some side things also, I think, right in the series or something. That I totally didn't expect seeing that. Of that game initially. Absolutely didn't expect. Oh, stop. Trying to plan as far in advance as we possibly can. Come from episodic narrative background. The Nintendo net sales up 99.3% as Switch 2 shifts 17.37 million units. Hardware sold 7 million copies in 3 months ending December 31st. A 100% increase year on year. Well, just the sales though, but still. The profit is also quite high up, I guess. And that's just from the hardware, because they like barely made fucking games. Almost. I'm just selling that Switch, dude. Yeah, launch in June. Mario Kart World sold 14 billion copies. Donkey Kong Bonanza shipped at 4.25 million units. Insane. Pokemon sold 3.89. Kirby Air Raiders 1.76. Not bad. Did get some releases at least, I guess. Yes, they did get some. Oh yeah, that's the Epic's report there. Store saw a record player count and 57% increase in third-party game sales in 2025, topping $400 million. Total player spend up 6% to 1.16 billion. Total player hours down 14%. Interesting. Free games deliver uplift of 40% in Steam CCUs. Uplift of 40% in Steam CCUs. So like whatever releases for free gets like 40% of whatever they had on Steam. And 17 million plus PC users, 972 million Epic cross-platform accounts, multi-active users in December 2025 plus 6%, average less, total stored gameplay hours less, total third-party gameplay hours more, spent by PC players on Epic Game Store plus 6%, spent by players on third-party PC games in the Epic Game Store. So I guess the difference is basically whatever Fortnite made, probably, on their store. Unspecified decline in first-party titles. Free games program which gives away titles each month, delivering a measurable halo effect across the broader PC ecosystem. Oh, okay, Steam increase in CCU, while title is free on Epic Store. Well, I mean, that kind of does make sense. All-time highs in developer participation Epic First Run. Grants developers 100% of revenue for the first 6 months if the game is exclusively launched on the Epic Game Store. Did not show figures though. A web shop service for PC and mobile in October 2025 used the company's e-commerce platform and passes developers their first $1 million in revenue commission-free before reverting to 80-22 split. That's a nice split. Where'd you get that bonus there from? 88-12, I guess. Distant second place to Steam in revenue terms. 100 free games, 662 million free games claimed, 1,000 in total value per player. Well, I mean, they're going somewhere, they're still offering free games. I'll take it. I'll take it. Not really setting some proper competition, unfortunately. Would be nice to have some proper, stronger competition for Steam. But it's good enough, I guess. I'd rather GOG to be that, but GOG is also kind of struggling sometimes. Alright, Chat Arena will work. Alright, looks like it does. Nice. Back to it. NBA 2K and GTA franchises boost Take-Two Quarter 3 net revenue by 25% to 1.7 billion. The NBA again. At 1.7 billion in revenue, up 25%. NBA growth and GTA growth. A mobile division headed by Zynga. NBA 2K26 sold approximately 8 million units to date. Just the yearly fucking release, dude. And I guess there is still like probably like 4-5 months of NBA 2K26, you know, a lifespan to generate more sales, I assume. Until the next one is out, like 2027. On track to generate highest level of annual net bookings and recurrent consumer spending in the franchise's history. %67% off already, by the way. No, this one at least kind of didn't go full negative, huh? Maybe this time they did actually release something kind of okay. Yeah, from September, so it's pretty much in 5 months they farmed 8 million copies sold. That is actually quite insane. I would say the sports slope is too strong. GTA franchise. Recurrent consumer spending growth of 27% led by GTA Online's most recent update. 225 million copies sold of GTA 5. Bro. Fucking insane. Considering the game also was for free on Epic and stuff for some, at least once. And they still selling that much shit, dude. After all the years, huh? Take-Two pauses development on Borderlands 4 Switch 2 port. Title was previously delayed indefinitely for additional development and polish time. GTA 5 to mobile. And there's something on mobile already, some sort of GTA. I mean, there was a lot, but not sure if there's some sort of live service there. Switch 2 gamers not even premium there, yeah. Quality post-launch content for players and the ongoing improvements to optimize the game. Collaborating closely with our friends at Nintendo, PGA Tour coming, and WWE 2K26 for Switch 2. Something didn't go that well with Borderlands, I guess, alright. Still supporting Borderlands. We'll have a new content coming, we have updates coming, and we're still very optimistic about that title. I think we'll continue to have strong sell-through of titles like that. The sell-through. EA net bookings jumped 38% to over $3 billion following Battlefield 6 launch. Publisher also reports decline in net income to $88 million compared to $293 million during Q3 last year. And the successful launch there. Ain't ever going on sale. Feels bad, man. Probably will though. Probably will though. I'm gonna pump some DLCs again. I would assume. I would assume. The footy is again successful. Net bookings for Apex Legends was up double digits. But like already people kind of molding that like Apex is kind of like, you know, getting a little dated, not getting enough attention, not really that popular anymore. And they're still getting some double digit increases there. Something does not track. Maybe it's not as dead as people want it to be. Yeah, pending the acquisition still there. And we'll see how that one will go. Heard about Apex for a while? Yeah, basically. Like, I thought it's kind of like, I mean, still fine and alive, but not to the point that they still growing numbers there, you know. But I guess I'm kind of like far from that, you know, corner of the gaming. PS5 unit sale dropped during holiday period. Q3 hardware revenue down 15%. Full game sales increased to 97.2 million units. 13.2 million were first-party titles. Which ones? Shipped 8 million PS5 units during the holiday period. They're probably going to be selling a bit more soon. If the prices for all the components going to get that expensive and they manage to keep their prices, they might actually get the bank out of that. Probably. Damn, this one's still going. Build the Rocket Boy announces a reset. As part of new update and marketing push for Mind's Eye, a new phase of ongoing development begins with the latest update following catastrophic launch, but arrives alongside new controversy. Damn, another one. Another one dropped. Most significant post-launch update yet, achieving studio's vision for quality and setting the stage for exciting future content updates. Serve as a reset for the brand and the title in 2026. Mind's Eye more than it seems. CTO of Build the Rocket Boy described the update as a big step forward for Mind's Eye and our studio. He said developer would deliver substantial combat and gameplay enhancements in future updates. Nikon is in development and we're committed to steady, meaningful progress. Studio said it would be revealing a new expansion that adds endgame content and enhanced world exploration in the coming months, as well as adding multiplayer mode. There is Arcadia platform which adds additional missions each month. And they're really trying to make it into some sort of live service. Even dude, you kind of like can't even make it as a single player game. You sure you want to jump over that to live service? Timing is unfortunate, as it comes the day after studio founder and Rockstar veteran Leslie Benzies issued a formal response after being named in the Epstein files recently. Released by US Justice Department. An email from unnamed a person alleged to be a Jeffrey Epstein's victim accused Benzies of sexual assault, which Benzies denied in a statement provided to Kotaku. These allegations are false. I had 3 months consensual relationship with this person, and I have never met Jeffrey Epstein, and nor have I ever visited his island, his properties, or traveled in his plane. Any suggestion otherwise is misleading. A statement comes several days after Build the Rocket Boy CEO and CTO Mark Gerhard referred to media manipulation, espionage, sabotage, or interference targeting our organization when demanding a YouTuber remove a video referring to Benzies, describing them as being part of media manipulation cabal. Damn, son. Gerhard previously claimed the pre-release criticism of the game was financed by someone, and previous reporting by the BBC quoted Benzies as telling staff that internal and external forces worked against the game's launch and Build the Rocket Boy would root out saboteurs within the company. What a guy, dude. Yeah, just take the L already, dude. Just take the L already. Oh, there we go. Harris Interactive's AI-enabled development, marketing, and live ops secures $70 million in Series A funding. Funding will support Ares' vision to build a next-gen cross-platform free-to-play game company. That's how you get investments there, huh? I'm making your like insane single-player stuff there? No. Just get the AI going, brother. And billions are flowing now. Ares is currently working on Baseball Hits 26. Insane. 26, dude. Even though if you look at sports games, I guess that's basically kind of that too. They just don't put the number in, they just put the year in, but you know, same shit. Same shit, really. How long FIFA even going on the yearly schedule? Remember I played some like a FIFA on the disc back in the day. I don't remember which one was that. It was like 2000 or like 2004 or something. I don't remember actually. So it was already kind of going then. I wonder how long they're already farming that shit. On the yearly schedule. They probably maybe weren't as fast before. I think back in the day it was kind of like FIFA like World Cup, you know, this kind of stuff. So like once per couple of years with different championships like World Cup, Euro, right? Unhog Studios is working with Nintendo on a path forward to address dispatch censorship. Developer says it became clear during porting process that uncensored version of Dispatch would not meet Nintendo's guidelines. And people say they already have like some Kumar games and stuff on Switch. What's wrong with the censorship there? A fully uncensored version of the game on other platforms, because games like Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk are on the platform with similar types of uncensored mature content. Dispatch would be allowed to do the same. During the porting process, it became clear that was not the case, so we asked to include a disclaimer on the store page to inform customers that content would be different than on other platforms. Worked Nintendo to get storefront language approved. So what was exactly the reason, though? Why is it different from Witcher then and stuff, for example? 10 times worse with the loot stuff? I mean, yeah, like from what I've seen in Cyberpunk at least, for sure. It can't be that bad in this one. Like, what's the difference then, I wonder? What's the logic? I don't get it. Be kind of nice to know. For other developers also, you know. To know what exactly the difference is, As you okay, I see, alright. The mutants are not allowed, Not very exclusive of them towards the mutants. Taipei Game Show 2026 welcomed record-breaking crowds and almost 400,000 visits. Expanded B2B exhibition area attracted 1,100 business professionals from 43 countries. That was basically kind of recently. I wonder if I can like try to fit this one in. If I will go for like, you know, kind of like this, the Asian convention trip sorta for this year and kind of like early next year. I wonder if it will be feasible. Roblox reports significant growth for 2025, hitting $4.9 billion in revenue. Almost half of global daily active users have completed mandatory age checks to access chat feature. Oh yeah, they did this thing now. You can't access the chat without the confirmation. Revenue 1.4 billion, booking 2.2, net losses 318 million compared to 221 million in the same quarter last year. Net losses 1.07 billion. Did you acquire something, or where did you lose that much, dude? Doesn't say really. Where would you lose even, dude? The fuck? Like actual losses there. Significantly exceeded guidance and long-term targets. That's good, but why though? Like everything's up, but somehow we have loss. Alright, massive loss too. Nintendo working to secure stable supplies of memory components to avoid hardware price rises. Platform holder says it does not expect its Q4 results to be affected by ongoing memory shortage. Despite the price rises happening at the pace exceeds expectations, did not have a significant impact on hardware profitability in the third quarter. Furukawa did not rule out future price rises, may put pressure on profitability. Any decision to change the price will be determined comprehensively, taking into consideration not only profitability but also other factors like platform's installed base, sales trends, and the market environment. The rise in memory prices continues for longer than expected may start to have an effect on hardware profitability, and in this case we will examine various factors to determine how to handle the situation. Onka is... necessary to regularly release new titles to increase the installed base of new hardware. Very important to maintain touch points with consumers who are active on our gaming systems as the transition from Switch to Switch 2 unfolds over the next few years. Now, release updates for Switch software, which has a large installed base to maintain user activity and encourage continued play. And the Sony is extending the generation also, I see. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Like if there's the shortage of the current hardware, then like going for the future hardware is going to be even harder. I mean, in the video already, I should have an article about that one too, I think. This one, I think. Yeah, you know, new graphic cards, and in general, they're just gonna pursue the AI now instead of like trying to get the next generation of GPUs. And that will continue until, you know, there's gonna be some sort of like correction on the market, I guess, same as it was like with the mining and everything, because like those who remember back then, the Nvidia also was making special like mining GPUs back then. I remember, like the special kind of cut versions that are not full-fledged GPUs for gaming, but have everything you need for mining. So they already had this stuff with like, you know, we're just gonna focus on like the special hardware for those special needs, and well, yeah, that actually kind of didn't really go that far. That shit got wrapped pretty fast. Probably will be kind of worse with AI, because AI is something way more loud, I guess, than like all the blockchain and mining and stuff. A lot of like big companies on board, so that's probably gonna take longer to get out of that train, or at least to kind of like balance, you know, the demand with supply and stuff like that. No point in releasing something like that. Well, I mean, I do kind of hope that all this like crisis and stuff will maybe be kind of like this, like the point which will kind of make everyone like chill and reconsider things. Like basically, you know, like the PCs and gamers will be way more hesitant to upgrade, because I mean shit's gonna be expensive, right? So people are gonna slow down the hardware advancement, right, in general. And developers will also kind of need to do a better optimization and everything, because they will need to kind of hit those, you know, gamers that are still sitting on all those old GPUs and everything. Well, old, quote unquote, right? Just because they can't afford anything else. So we're gonna get in this situation when maybe like, you know, like the it kind of slows down, and instead of like trying to kind of extensively grow the industry by like increasing the computing power and everything, right, and like employing all those DLSSs and everything, not as like the helping tool to help weaker machines, but more kind of like the tool that allows you to pump even more fucking shit in the game, so even the top tier machines still need DLSS, right? So I hope it's gonna be like the point where everyone needs to kind of stop and try to kind of like balance, you know, the board. And then when the kind of crisis, well, hopefully, right, like goes away, and like the manufacturing capabilities will kind of catch up to the demand, we kind of get like some sort of like price correction, like the price, like, you know, like suddenly out of like the, not suddenly, but out of like the deficit of chips and stuff, we're gonna get like decent amount. And like, you know, prices kind of will go down, so you will be able to afford the upgrades a bit easier. And in the same time, developers will kind of get, you know, like more like optimization, like knowledge and skills going, I guess, which, I mean, not necessarily gonna linger for long. Maybe as soon as, you know, like the GPUs will start being more affordable, and like statistics and data will show that people started upgrading, maybe they'll just like fire the whole departments that were handling optimization, you know, and just like replace everything with AI and stuff, and let's go back again, utilizing DLSS to the full. Nvidia streaming gonna be farming soon. Well, one of my friends already playing on the cloud there, the Nvidia one, I think, actually. Already gaming on that shit. But to be honest, it depends. Like if you're like kind of gamer that plays like a couple of hours, you know, like every like second day or something, that maybe is not too bad. If you're playing a lot, then yeah, that shit gonna probably be outpaced by, well, you're gonna outpace just buying your own PC, like maybe not super fast, but kind of fast. Is he happy with it? Yeah, I mean, I think he is. I think he's actually enjoying. He's like constantly now like, oh, I just got this game, I just got that game, you know, like I'm like was sitting on my PPG laptop that barely was running shit, and now I'm just kind of, you know, like trying all the dang shit. He was never really like a big gamer though, but seems like he's kind of like into it at the moment, at least. Ghost of Yotei boosts Sony's Q3 results, significantly contributed to 6% rise in digital game revenue. Your new PS5 hardware sales will be impacted due to cost increases. There it is. Exceeded the sales of Ghost of Tsushima in the same period of time, having sold 3.3 million copies since its launch in October. That's like less than NBA, dude. By a wide margin, actually. But considering they were kind of on a pretty small budget in terms of development, I mean, that's probably good results for them. That's nice. Established live service titles like Helldivers MLB The Show contributed stable recurring revenue. Sony is very confident for Marathon's release. Well, we'll see about that one. I guess. Conditions hardware market more challenging. Steadily expanded PS5 install base in line with the original plan, exceeded 92 million units on a cumulative selling basis. 8 million units. PS5 hardware unit sales decreased moderately in the latter half of the console cycle. Software revenues from PlayStation Store reached a record high during the quarter, primarily driven by the contribution of major third-party franchise titles and new hit releases. I think Marathon will do well. I'm kind of not sure. It depends like what they changed about that, and it really will depend how much marketing they will be able to push. Because I think by March there maybe will be some like, you know, already kind of like fatigue with the Arc Raiders. I mean, Arc Raiders is good, right? And it's pumping a bunch, but a lot of people, a lot of streamers, you know, they kind of probably wouldn't mind, I guess, right? Like to switch to some next potentially kind of big thing. So it could be possible. Looking at the price is no-brainer to get PS5. True, yeah, absolutely. That is actually a good point. If it'll be that easy also to get like the review codes, for example, for streamer as a streamer, right, for like consoles, and if all the indie games that I'm playing would be also on the PS5, day one preferably, then that actually would be a really good option. Just capture card I already have. Just instead of the laptop, just gonna like be bringing the, or instead of the big PC, we just have the PlayStation 5 there, done. That actually is kind of good. But yeah, the problem is like not all the review keys are for consoles too, and a lot of games that I do be playing, they are not on PS5, not at least like day one and stuff for sure. So that's a bit sad, and a lot of boomer stuff that I'm playing is also not there. So I guess kind of do need the PC. Kinda do need that, yeah, the libraries on Steam obviously too, so... And generally it's also cheaper to buy stuff on PC, even though that actually sadly kinda gets fixed. Not in a good way, as in, you know, PlayStation games get cheaper, no, PC games will get more expensive, like the regional price is slowly kinda getting fucked. Slowly. Machine Games on being part of Microsoft, going back to the office, and Wolfenstein 3. Oh, they're also going back to the office there, I see. Another one. Alright, very little had changed since Microsoft bought Machine Games parent company ZeniMax Media in 2020. Exception nowadays they tend to plan much further ahead. I think that's the key, and you operate in this type of organization. I think you need to be very transparent. You need to be very open about what you want to do, and you need to deliver on what you say you will deliver on. So I think for Machine Games, very important to have a very clear plan. And obviously they can question that, and there might be discussion around that, but there are no surprises. Machine Games plans at least a couple of games ahead, and if anything needs to change for whatever reason, then we can adjust very early. It would be a lot worse if we were in a position where we ship a game and then we started to try to figure out what to do next. If Machine Games didn't have that long-term plan, one can speculate it would make it much harder to justify your studio's continued existence to the higher-ups. The lean operation, only expanding to a second office now, as it celebrates 15th anniversary. I like the idea of keeping it as lean as possible. I know everybody's name, I know everybody on the team. Things when you stop recognizing people, it's a sign the company has grown too big. I would say true. No danger of that happening at Machine Games, however. Even with the new satellite studio, Gustafsson has no aspirations to grow the studio much beyond the current size. As their AAA titles get bigger and more ambitious, Gustafsson admits it's getting harder to develop games with the scope they want. That's where outside help comes in. Obviously, we use a lot of partners, and I think one of the most important solutions is to find partners you can rely on and build long-term relationships with them. We also have a very good relationship with our sister studios, which I think is also a very important part of it, because together you can manage resources in a very efficient way. One of their titles is in pre-production and hence requires fewer staff. The team can help out Bethesda's other studios, leading Machine Games to work on id Software's Doom the Dark Ages. Gustafsson says it's a win-win situation because not only do the sister studios benefit, Machine Games staff also get the experience working on different games and see how other studios work. He sees it as one of the great positives out of being under the Microsoft umbrella. Often we hear, oh, it would be amazing to be independent, but it's actually quite nice to be part of a bigger organization in that regard. It also engenders a sense of healthy competition. The need to ensure the quality of Machine Games work matches or exceeds that of other ZeniMax studios, and we can't be a worst in class. If I expand to Sundsvall, why not open studio in, say, India or South America? It was never a consideration for Gustafsson. We haven't even thought about it. Obviously, we have partners that we work with that are in countries where the cost is a little bit cheaper, but even there, we prioritize looking at the quality output of those partners more than anything else, because that's the important part of it. Gustafsson got his start in the industry working on titles like Chronicles of Riddick Escape from Butcher Bay at Starbury Studios, which was founded nearby. Almost like going back to the beginning when you go up there. One of the things I love about the office up there is that it's smaller. We always try to work a lot in collaboration and teamwork in general, but in small space it becomes very focused and friendly, and overall nice environment to work in. And the team up there, very genuine and nice, something the Northerners in Sweden have a reputation for. Now there we go. That focus on close teamwork is also behind one of Gustafsson's more controversial decisions to encourage employees to work in the office rather than remotely. And there it is. Machine Game doesn't ask all of its employees to work full-time in the office. Many of its developers work in a hybrid pattern, spending 3 days in the office and 2 days at home. And there is room for some flexibility, but the company insists that the senior staff, directors, leads and producers are in the office 5 days a week. And Gustafsson says the studio is moving more and more to being in office. From my point of view, and from Machine Games' view, we see ourselves as an in-office studio because we know that we are a lot more efficient and a lot more collaborative in general when we are actually in the office together. It's an improvement in how we operate. It's also part of the reason to start something up in Sundsvall too, because then we provide them with an office space as well, so we don't have a group of people that are always remote. Not so sure, not so sure. Benefits of working in office outweigh the negatives. Feel that we are more efficient and more productive when we are in the office. I think that gathering people together dovetails well with the studio's relatively flat hierarchy and open door policy. See, Salpo, I see, but what do you think about it? Are you down for that office work? But I remember you had like some insane commute to that shit, so I assume you're not super happy about it. You do prefer working in office with flexible hours? I mean, I can see that for sure, yeah. Like for me, like doing stuff in general, I mean, obviously with streaming is like a little different story, right? But like when I can have some sort of like with workout, for example, right? Like even having all this shit at home, it's still for me more productive is to go to the gym. Like I just more motivated that way. But yes, but that is not sustainable for sure. 10-6 instead of 9-5, I see. I mean, a lot of IT companies have that. Not even IT, like in general, a lot of like kind of more or less advanced companies, I guess. Like my friend, for example, starts working like noon, I think, even local time back home. The extroverted people and stuff, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do think it's nice to have options, no matter what. Like for some people, yeah, it's probably better full remote. For some people, it's better full office. I don't think anyone needs to be, you know. I could see with management, I guess, somehow, because I think it's probably like a little more like productive when they spend more time in office and directly interacting with other people. But again, not all the people will be in the office, so I'm not going to be interacting with everyone specifically. So when you kind of start forcing that, I feel like it's not good. When you have a choice, Especially when you just start working somewhere, I would rather, yeah, have the opportunity to just like have someone I could like consult with right here and there. Like you obviously have calls and stuff, right, and all that stuff, but I think it's kind of like would be better for me at least to probably just go there and, you know, like ask it right there and get like the answer being shown to me right there and stuff, right? But if you already know what to do and how to do, and you are good with, like I usually suck with motivation with things. So actually, like with streaming is better for me because I have sort of like external motivation, I guess, with streaming. Because I kind of have the schedule, I have the people who kind of tune in right on the schedule, and I kind of feel responsibility, and I stick to it, and I'm pretty consistent to it over almost like 8 years at this point. But like some other things, when I don't have such external motivators, I used to be really bad at. Very bad. Let's see, should I say? Same as with workout. Like the exercise bike, a bunch of like weights and stuff I had at home. That rarely was used. A gym pass though, like a gym and swimming pool. Like I was daily, like 4 days a week at least. I was going there for sure. Like on work days, trying every day. Weekends usually too many people, so I wasn't even going there. But yeah, like work days, early in the morning, I was like 6:30 a.m. No, 6:30 I'm waking up. 7 a.m. I'm on the bus already going to the swimming pool, and that was like easy for me. That I love doing. But the self-motivation I usually kind of suck with, not gonna lie. So like for me, having some sort of office like that would be probably kind of... It depends on the vibe. Like Ultan now went for the Spell Collective yet, right, again, and like, you know, like living and working in the same kind of like space with other developers and shit. And yeah, like he's not here anymore, like molding about things and complaining about things. He's fucking game deving now super hard, just tuning in every once in a while. Not like before, like every day and stuff. Now he's working hard there. So that kind of motivational part could be kind of nice. Could be kind of nice. Stuff about the Indiana Jones. Oh yeah, what about the young blood they got here? Anything? Anything? No, just got that. Just got the picture there, I guess. Alright. Continue to be market for the type of games we do, because obviously we love to do them, and to be honest also see less of them, especially when it comes to what we call AAA. I think audience still is growing. 54 years old now, and I grew up with games, but I think I was also the first generation that grew up with games. So when I'm going into retirement, when I'm 70 years old, that should be the peak. That should be the peak of our install base. That should be the peak of people that have actually grown up playing games on a daily basis. So we shouldn't be there yet, because it doesn't make sense that we are there yet. I mean, I kind of do agree, but I think it's even more time. I think it's even more time. Because I think like 54, you know, like back growing up with games probably wasn't like that common still yet. I think even in my like age group, probably like actually growing up with them was not like having you know some sort of like gaming device at home was still kind of not for everyone, let's put it that way. I guess it also depends on the geography, right? Like if we're talking like US, well, Sweden in this case, still kind of probably more access to such stuff in the childhood, but still I think like we're only getting to the generation that was kind of like growing up with games, in my opinion. Maybe a bit older than me, like 40, 45, 50 I guess kind of also like tracks there really. But we were really growing up with them. Because I was like, when I couldn't play, when I couldn't talk even yet, I was watching my dad and my grandfather play. And then as soon as I could sit down at the PC and do something, I was already doing something. And playing that shit. Very primitive things at first, but I was. Huge and increasing cost of AAA development. Raising the price of games is an undesirable option because the risk is that you lose some players. Instead, he thinks solution requires addressing 3 questions. What can you do in terms of being more efficient? What can we do to continue to promote our products? What can we do with our back catalog to make sure that our older games can bring new life into those new platforms? Let's see, Gustavone, let's see. I do think that interest wasn't exactly, you know, yet there, in my opinion. Like, maybe, like, people, like, yeah, you had more people who had that. We had less people, like, in Russia, for example, back then. But, like, I think there was, like, less people having interest in general. In general, in my opinion. Like, nowadays, like, if someone is not even, like, playing on, like, you know, consoles or PC, they probably play on phone. Like, I met already, like, way too many people that are kind of, like, not really, like, gaming adjacent, I guess, let's put it that way, whatsoever. And they do partake in some video games on their phone. Basically. Like, they maybe not doing, you know, like, they maybe never even had a console and maybe had PC only for, like, school or something. But on the phone, yeah, they do be playing things. Even those that I would never, like, think that they kind of, like, into gaming or something. Yeah, that's what I think. Like, when they go, like, really old, really, like, far back, then it's very niche. It's very niche, I think. Like, I don't know what to even, like, take as a start for, like, you know, like, when you can say that, like, yeah, like, the generation that was growing up with gaming. I don't know, like some generation of smartphones or something, probably, when everyone started playing. Like, even, like, my brother growing up, for example, already had access to, like, my PC, right? Which he was using, for sure. But phone gaming wasn't exactly a thing yet, with him growing up. So I'm not so sure, actually. But it was a thing, but it wasn't, like, you know, that advanced, I guess. So I still think even, like, having this, like, you know, 54 when he's 70, I think he can add probably, like, 10 years easily. Like, 10 years on top of that, no problems. Maybe even 20. Like, when we're gonna be, like, turning 70 already, then I guess that will be kind of, like, getting to closer to peak, but not peak yet. Like, 10 years older generation, probably already gonna be, like, more close to that. Even, like, with my brother's friends, for example, there is not that many of them who are actually, like, into gaming that much. Well, there are some, but there are some who also kind of, like, not really into that stuff, I think. So even the newer generations, it's still not exactly, like, super widespread, eh? And he's 11 years younger than me. But way more widespread than we had it. The first where it was possible? I mean, probably. Older than 54 and games weren't the thing, eh? Well, I mean, I guess they kind of were, but, like, even more niche. Like, I wonder where we start counting the widespread, from which generation of, like, consoles and everything we can start counting as, like, you know, the games became kind of, like, very accessible and widespread. Eh? And what we consider also growing up, you know, like, how early at the start. Basically take Talking Pong at this point. Well, that's basically, well, actually, yeah, I guess true. That is actually true. Indeed, eh? Action Games always been scrupulous about the first of those three. It says ensuring that they don't build anything that they don't need and don't throw away work. Studio is mindful about scope. Second option, promotion, also something Machine Games pursuing by Transmedia, having given the green light to TV adaptation of the Wolfenstein games. And I think it's great that we can try to expand beyond just games. And I think that is something that we always should be looking at to see how we can make the business more profitable. Another strategy, of course, just make good games. A strategy Machine Games has been pursuing relentlessly for some time now, and it's more important in games perhaps than any other medium. If you see a movie that gets a super low score, basically on a Red and Metacritic, it can still be a big monetary success. It's very hard for a game to achieve that. If you have a game that has a very, very low score, it's very hard for it to be successful. I still need to reach a very high level of quality in order to be successful. Call of Duty, sports games, even though it might not be a guarantee, you still need to do it. They still pump them every year, and some years they are kind of dog, and they still sell like crazy, so you know. Arc Raiders' budget was $75 million, it is claimed. And where was that? Industry analyst, alright. Ubisoft taking 5 years to develop a game and selling only 5 billion units is not sustainable. 3 years is plenty. Talks about people bringing Rockstar into comparison, which might be 1.5 to a billion on GTA 6, but don't understand that they are going to make that 2 billion back in the first week. Probably. Everybody should be comparing themselves to GTA, FIFA, or the former glory of Call of Duty. Instead, they should compare themselves to Arc Raiders. Patcher then drops a secret, stating Arc Raiders cost $75 million to make. It was developed over 3 years, had a team of 70 developers, and included marketing in the budget. Patcher added that the game has already made 500 million from 12 million plus units sold and will probably make close to a billion. Maybe a little bit kind of like overblown numbers, but I mean, does sound kind of close. Does sound kind of close. 75 mil to make. And over 3 years. I mean, that does sound nice. That does sound nice if they could do that. I mean, to be honest, like the Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima also had like pretty small budgets and also were released quite fast, so yeah, it ended up being good. It's doable. It's totally doable. I think like having like 70 developers and not 700 developers is also probably part of the reason when you have way like, you know, like faster, closer communication between people working on the game. A Morrowind remaster would sell like hotcakes, says Baldur's Gate 3 dev. I believe a very technically qualified developer out there that would happily remake Morrowind with the modern combat system, and it would sell like fucking hotcakes. I mean, honestly, you don't really need to remake the combat system, in my opinion, in Morrowind. I feel like the main difference between like Morrowind, for example, and Oblivion is that like in Morrowind, when you kind of fail an attack, right, because of your stats, you kind of miss completely. While in Oblivion, it just looks kind of you hit, but you hit like for like a millimeter of health, and sometimes you have like some actually chunky hits where you hit by a lot. So it's just like Oblivion has pretty much the same system, at least the old Oblivion. I haven't played Remaster yet, right? So not sure about the combat system adjustments there. But in Oblivion, you feel like you're hitting things. Like it doesn't feel like a scam. You don't feel like you're robbed of your hits. You still kind of hit, just not for much, and then sometimes, oh damn, that's good damage. That's like a crit or something, you know. So it feels a little more kind of like friendly display of the system, even though it's technically the same shit. So I kind of never had problems with Morrowind system, to be honest. Then in Oblivion, I just like quickly realized how it works, and it was like, well, yeah, that's the same shit, dude. Just kind of masked. So you don't really even need to remake everything, just like, you know, make it also like hidden like that, and all good. Combat is absolute dog shit in both games. Kinda true, yeah, kinda true also. I agree. Players in the comments seem to agree. Overall sentiment Morrowind Remaster will be appreciated. Some have agreed with updating the combat system, others have disagreed, stating that it was part of the charm. That's also kinda true. Yeah, ship true. Like, like when things kinda slow, might be not up to everyone's taste. I do kinda agree. That could be also kind of done differently. I guess like the stamina and everything also. that kind of stuff could be like rubbing, you know, a little wrong way on the modern gamer, potentially. And why not go and make something new? Approaching a way to revisit the lands of Morrowind and do a new story. I don't know. Considering it's also not Bethesda actually making the remasters, why not? Just get a different studio to do them and have Bethesda do some other games, that's it. You can do both, especially since there are so many devs right now that are laid off and everything and could use some work, might as well. And not go and make something new. I mean, it is based though, I do agree. But like, in case of like Morrowind, for example, I wouldn't mind, honestly. Because like the game's kinda, like, game aged, game missed a lot of like, I guess, generation of consoles where it could be, for example, for console players to enjoy, right? Like, I wouldn't mind. Like, when we're talking about remastering, you know, like, Last of Us, another time or something, like, that's dumb shit. That I don't really approve, eh? I in general kind of do like the concept, right? Like if like they regularly just like keep those games updated so you can play them on modern platforms. But if it would be kind of like reasonably priced upgrade, like okay, fine, they're not gonna do it for free, obviously, right? But kind of like reasonable. I don't know, like 10, 20 bucks or something just to kind of like get the upgrade for the current console you have, for example, or like the current, you know, hardware you have. If it would be like well made and stuff, running good, optimized, okay, I would take that. And preferably without touching like anything like basics, you know, just the graphic uplift pretty much. I wouldn't really mind. But sadly they charge you like buying a game. Again, a new, you know, change a bunch of things there and you get a completely different product in the end, and sometimes it also fucking runs like trash and sucks balls. So that is not exactly the agreement I want to sign. Well, that we've already seen. Reaffirm the November launch, sure. You can play it with all the jankiness, you can probably handle the current graphics. Let's see, huh? I can't remaster without ruining that was okay. I see what you mean there, right? I mean, kind of true. That is kind of true. I agree. I mean, you can remaster it like with minimal changes, I guess, and it will be kind of fine. I think you do can. I think you can. It do be like that, but you really need to make it like actually with minimal changes, honestly, in my opinion. Like a lot of charm of Morrowind is actually in some of the jankiness there. Some of it, a little bit. The combat you can change kinda. Can you like remove all those like insane spells and things? No, I don't think so. That will ruin it. The remaster need is open Morrowind, I see. And the excellent mod support, I see. Yeah, if you start updating all the game systems, it will be bad. That I absolutely agree. I think, like, I really don't like remakes because of that. Remakes, relaunches, restarts, because, like, remastering something old to make it run on modern PC, that's fine by me. Changing it completely, I don't really like. I don't mind, like, if it's both, right? Like, if you can still kind of access the OG somehow, fine. If you completely remove the opportunity to do the OG and only leave, you know, like the change new version, that I think is dog shit. Haven't played without the open Morrowind. I did, huh? I did use some mods though, but yeah, I did sorta the old school way, and that was 3-4 years ago or something. I don't remember actually. Been some time. was alright. It also like changed the graphics and everything quite a lot, and it was actually like pretty good. But yeah, people told me like, you know, why not open Morrowind? I'm like, I don't know. I just prefer play vanilla always, and with just the graphics changes, and that's exactly what I did. Neo 3 has a timed console exclusivity deal with PlayStation for 6 months until August 2026. Well, seems good reviews and stuff on that one. That is nice. Saudi wants to use the Gen AI to feed you fake podcasts voiced by PlayStation characters. That's the patent, alright. Recognize herein, video game platforms currently lack the ability to provide unique and targeted content to gamers to update the gamers about things that are happening on the platform. There are currently no adequate solutions to the foregoing computer-related technological problem. The fuck? Identify data associated with your PlayStation profile and then generate a podcast of news related to that data. That's called like the Steam feed. Like you have games in your library, you get the news for those games there. Like, do you fucking need a podcast out of that shit? It would then be reeled off by a video game character of a game played by the video game player. This could then be paired with video footage, trailers, screenshots, and other media. But it would get pretty personal. The filing revealed how the audio may include a joke at the video game player's expense, which means you could be roasted by generative AI podcast voiced by your favorite characters, because that's what we as gamers want. Amazing. I wonder how they also gonna address the situation when you need to get the, you know, like the voices of all the actors and stuff. Your cogs are low. CSC, huh? Well, at least you don't know. At least you don't know. Would rather, yeah, rather have the cheaper RAM so I could, like, you know, play those games that I'm getting news for. And that seems fucking good, dude, huh? Obsidian seemingly confirms Microsoft's 30% profit target. In an interview with Bloomberg, Obsidian Entertainment's head Fergus Urquhart appears to have mentioned Microsoft's 30% profit target. While discussing Justin Bridge and Marcus Morgan, Urquhart's lieutenants at Obsidian, the profit target. Oh, there we go. Here we go, sorry. A battery dead, yeah. A battery dead, yeah. I mean, it's actually about time for it to die. Need to recharge it though. Need to recharge it though. Target appears to be achievable for Obsidian, provided they are allowed to keep experimenting. Urquhart mentioned that Xbox is still open to investing in riskier projects, prioritizing creative achievements over strong sales. Xbox does that even if it means to accept that where Obsidian is going to be from a profitability standpoint isn't going to be 30%. Yeah, no new Outer Worlds, and that we saw already. Hey, Portable Hello, how we doing, man? How's life? Borderlands 4 intense Switch development paused by Take-Two, so that one already too was delayed first, now it's paused. AMD says next Xbox console may launch next year. Yeah, really now, eh? And where was that? During AMD's Q4 2025 earnings call, CEO Dr. Lisa Su provided an update on the potential launch window for the next generation Xbox. Su stated development of Microsoft's next-gen Xbox featuring AMD semi-custom SoC is progressing well to support a launch in 2027. Well, I actually did say that, alright. Interesting. So next year a new Xbox and then interesting. Nice portable dice. Doing good, man. Doing good. Doing good. We chillin', we chillin'. Overwatch drops 2. Launches year-long Reign of Talent story arc. Yeah, now they do everything kind of weird. It was supposed to be 2 and become some PvE stuff. Now they're dropping 2 but adding some story content. Alright. Sure. AI is here and it's not going anywhere. The Mid's Kingdom Come director. Alright, you wrote, everybody hates AI. Well, actually not everybody, but I told you it's unavoidable future. Hate me as you wish, it's the truth. This is a fan-made trailer made in 2 days by one person. Movie and gaming industry will never be the same. You can see it as a game over or as an opportunity for everyone to make great stuff without the big money from corporations. But it doesn't matter what you think, it's here and it's not going anywhere. I mean, not completely wrong there. Evolver gave his thoughts back on those opposing his energy towards AI, offering up an analogy of sorts. My art is just a materialization of my thoughts, the result of my brain guiding my hands. As similar as if you were saying that driving cars is unnatural, cheating to reach something faster, and the only people who really arrive at destination are those who walk. Like, kind of getting it maybe a little too far, but one thing he's right about is that shit is not going anywhere. That shit is not going anywhere. And just flip-flops every year? Well, I mean, just the shit posting on the social media. Just the guy kind of got, like, you know, the spotlight because of what he did. I think, like, some of those, like, the, you know, the mega devs and stuff kind of got, oh, like, mega people in anything, right? And got kind of, like, popular for some achievement of sorts. Sometimes they kind of get this, like, you know, like the streamer complex in a way. Like when you get like popular, like playing some fucking video game for like years, right? And then you kind of think, I must be like that good, right? If people, you know, like me. And then you start giving some takes and stuff on stream, right? And everyone is like pogging and shit. And you start thinking even more that you're some sort of like, you know, actually all around super talented guy. And it's not because, you know, you played the video game for years, but you are that good at everything. And you start giving all the stances, and then yeah, those stances also have no sustainability, I guess, of sorts, because you just kind of like randomly just like yup something and forget about it already like next day because you yup about a lot of things, since people kind of want to hear you yup about that shit and you enjoy that. That I think is quite common in general. Yeah, Ghostavania, basically. Nintendo Direct, February 26, everything announced. Was there something good there? Was there something good? That one I think was the super anime looking stuff that we saw before. With the retro anime shit. Let's see. It did look kinda nice. We got some more info on that. Oh, the co-op and everything. The art looks good at least, but the friends slope, yeah, true. Friends slopium indeed, eh? Paranorma site. Hey, it always starts with the fucking maximum volume there. There's some visual novel there or something. Kinda seemed like it, really. Dick Slope. There it is, huh? There it is, huh? Visual novel, I see her. Sepasa, the magical foodie there. No. Oh, magical Giga Footy, alright. Well, looks better than FIFA to me, to be honest, you know, looks more interesting at least. No, it's not that loud even in the box settings, but still. Tokyo Scramble. Guys with the dinosaurs and stuff, let's see. Amunka is... Oh yeah, the Valheim on Switch, let's see. Hollow Knight Edition, the eFoodie kick. And this one. Square, oh, I see, alright. About the dose. So like a remake of something retro, or are they just doing new 2.5D one? I'm not familiar with all this like endless Square JRPGs, honestly. Kinda hard to say sometimes nowadays. If it's new or just remastering something. That UI also looks like very... I actually guess the Switch though, alright. Looked a bit mobile-y there. Super Bomberman, saw that on Steam. Final Fantasy on Switch also. The Pragmata, I see. And the Turok Origins got the trailer on Switch. A bit Saber. Also got some friend Sloppy there too. Looks like. Guess we'll see what that's gonna be. Kyoto Xanadu. Also a visual novel in there. We beating it up in general. No, okay, it's not. He's actually not the platforming. I saw how it's nice. Got them screenshots. Feels good. Digimon. Another one. Which one's that? I'm lost in those, I'm lost in those. Too many. Grand Blue, another one. Also new or old. A relink. That does sound kind of like something remastered there. Yeah, it was launched last year. Okay, I see nothing new. Alright. Same old again. Okay, Monster Hunter Stories. Another one. Arcade Archives. Sizzle Reel. Okay, it's just a bunch of like smaller games there. Resident Evil also. Fallout 4 Anniversary. I see. And Indiana Jones also on Switch. I don't believe in the remastered. Damn. All the quality games get into Switch now. That's your guy, let's say. Yeah, Mind's Eye co-CEO alleges €1 billion is spent in sabotaging the game. Will pursue legal action. Yeah, that brother man can take a nail, dude. A big American company allegedly paid the UK-based company Ritual Network, who he claims are a bunch of gangsters, to carry out the sabotages that started actually pointing fingers at already. According to Gerhard, the company had been paying several influencers, including Cyberboy. Influencer Gerhard recently threatened with a cease and desist via Discord. 3 journalists and Build the Rocket Boy employees to harm Mind's Eye and Build the Rocket Boy's reputation. In the meeting, Gerhard alleges that all of these individuals will all be served in person criminal complaints shortly, and that criminal charges are for espionage, sabotage, and criminal interference. Everyone who's involved has real problems, including the company behind it. This is the start of our comeback. Yeah, what a guy, dude. What a guy. The Ritual Network denies the allegations. Creator support platform and is not involved in the matter you referenced. We are not aware of any legitimate legal action involving Ritual Network and have not been provided with any evidence supporting these claims. Any suggestion that Ritual Network is connected to these allegations is incorrect. So basically, like some YouTuber like made some sort of like, you know, video shitting on the game or in the company. He just found that the YouTuber is like part of some sort of content network and just said that, yeah, this content network is organizing that. And Bill the Rocket Boy spokesperson said, we don't comment on leaked internal communications. Sadly, we do have evidence that there has been a coordinated campaign to purposefully and maliciously damage Bill the Rocket Boy's reputation and undermine confidence in Mind's Eye. We're working with our legal team and taking steps to address this. Insane. Insane. Ishnafellow. Start of their comeback, yeah. I'm not sure if the player count will come back though, indeed. They're going to put their alleged members in Mind's Eye. Tracking employees. Muti Gerhard explained why Build the Rocket Boy recently rolled out enhanced cybersecurity software to employees without their knowledge. Insider Gaming understands that this software is called TerraMind, and according to one source, it was rolled out to employees' PCs without their knowledge. Oh damn, here we go. Employee monitoring and cybersecurity platform that tracks user activity, including keystrokes and screen behavior, in an attempt to track insider threats. Oof. Now, there's been a rollout of some enhanced cybersecurity software that I think has caused quite a lot of confusion, upset, perhaps even mistrust. Continued to say that the reason why the cybersecurity measures are rolled out was to see IT team periodically try and improve our security measures. He hates the fact that we even have to monitor in the first place, and you know, I think it goes without saying that we can trust 99.9% of this business. Problem is, it's the 1%. That is the problem, and you know, the next 90 days for this business are absolutely critical. Cybersecurity measures can be removed from employees' computers within the next 3 months, but he takes full responsibility for how the software was rolled out and poorly communicated. Imagine working in the studio now, I guess. You just get some insane fucking spyware rolled on your PC and everything without your knowledge. Amazing. Sounds like a good company there. Are creators fans debate games' death from streamers' influence? Oh, classic. Like every fucking multiplayer game. Comments surface on social media spawned a somewhat virulent debate suggesting the try-hard super fucking losers that populate streaming and social spaces will bring about the death of our creators. Damn, son. Call of Duty died because they listened to the streamers. H1Z1 died because they tried to make it competitive. Our creators is going to die if they listen to the streamers. Gaming is dead because of streamers and developers listening to social media, which is mostly filled with try-hard super fucking losers. Damn, what a tweet there. No, si so che I see. Going ham on that AI there, I see. I see how it is. Schnapp again is drunk and like talking to some other chat, I guess. The usual. Post quickly gained traction, racking up hundreds of thousands of impressions and stacks of comments from the community. In one comment, the user stood on beside a developer, admitting that streamers are the loudest voices in the room, so they think they represent the majority. Another comment, user bagged on streamers and their fickle collective mentality. Same streamers immediately go and play whatever new game is out. These clowns have zero loyalty. Damn, son. Slow update cadence, rewarding players with 1 new map in 5 months. Most complain, oh, dead game already, dude. Already dead game. Naruto wrote on the Ghost of Ace comment, I agree, streamers try to change things like it's their own personal playground. Damn, son, the classic there. The classic. Yeah, there it is, and NVIDIA won't release a new graphics card this year as it focuses on AI. There we go. Demand for a GeForce RTX GPUs is strong and memory supply is constrained. We continue to ship all the GeForce SKUs and are working closely with our suppliers to maximize memory availability. There it is. No new one. I decided not to release its latest GPU this year. The Super Refresh, alright. No Super. No Super there. Due to focus on AI chips and data centers due to RAM shortage. That makes sense, unfortunately. Larian isn't involved in the Baldur's Gate TV show and they are not happy. One of the only examples of a developer not being involved in a live-action adaptation would be Borderlands movie. Well, yeah, that one did go pretty well. Except we made it popular enough for it to be referred to as Baldur's Gate 3. And when prompted in the comments to confirm if Larian would sue or something, he simply said not really. I mean, how the fuck would they even like sue them? They own the franchise. Yeah, it's not their IP there. Rule 90 series of posts talking about Larian having some of the best video game writers in the world, explaining I genuinely don't think anyone can trump our writers. Don't abandon hope, but do expect the world that that's the job, eh? Later, Sven Winke, CEO of Larian, wrote that it's going to be continuing the game, like the events after the game. Which, yeah, I guess I don't know how they're gonna exactly. They're just gonna pick some canon ending and stuff, I guess. The endings of Baldur's Gate 3 were created so they could serve as narrative soil for new adventures. There's plenty of directions they could go. I'm eager to find out which ones Craig and his team will pick. I reached out for a chat so we'll have the opportunity to tell him our thoughts. Seaship, I see. True. The Burnt Peanut addresses new wave of boating allegations. That's like everyone's already like boating and stuff. Even though some people actually admitted themselves already not getting banned even. So I guess that's the meta now. That did came out of nowhere though completely. And then like boom, suddenly like the Game Awards and stuff. Like the fuck? But yeah, apparently like also really popular on like TikTok and stuff like that. So that's just another example of like, you know, if you want to get massive numbers and explode and grow, you need to go like the short format content, not a platform. Because on Twitch, you ain't gonna. Even if they use something, that still at least was a lot of natural growth, I guess, there too. By the looks of it. But seems like more and more people started partaking in some artificial manipulations that are going. Probably also explains why like my spam folder like started to get more and more of those offers and everything. A game kind of bumbled for itself. Wait, which one? The Last of Us? Well, that one was very divisive, you know, I would say. So I could see the game being also like, you know, not the most fertile soil probably for some good adaptation and everything, considering it already sparked a lot of arguments and everything. I mean, the Baldur's Gate 3, I see, alright. Yeah, and Sok was about the Last of Us. I think guys didn't understand each other that well there, I guess. Two new games in the works at Embark Studio. The Arcaders guys. Well, if they can pump out two new games in 3 years, that probably will be, even if they will be not super crazy, Pog, still probably gonna farm. And I do think like part of the reason they are so fast with that, right, and everything is exactly that they are doing a lot of research with AI, which they said that they are not really using that much. I do think they do. I do think they do. They're just like trying to keep it low key and everything. But I mean, there's already all the voice acting fiesta, right? In finals and in the arc raiders, they probably do. They just kind of like not doing it super openly yet, and they do have some advanced, really good tools. But I think they do. And that's the secret, basically, on how to like on low budget and the short term to make something that is pretty solid. I mean, doesn't mean that they're not like talented and everything, don't have like the good studio, good devs, but I think they have really good tools at their disposal that help them do that. Ben Studios canceled live service shooter services online again. Another one. Now I got some like files and stuff. Alright, that's also like something seizable and deceasable, I guess. Alright, let me see. What am I missing? What you guys posted there? One moment. One moment. Oh yeah, this stuff. Alright, good. Got them. This we did. This we did. This we did. This we did. Ooh, this one though. This one is good. This one's good. Alright, rest look ahead. Okay, just a few more. Just a few more. Alright. Yeah, there was that. There was that. The man, the legend. Maybe living legends.
Hello, I'm Dennis, CEO of Unfrozen. Today, I want to share some exciting news with you guys. We're incredibly honored to announce that John Van Cunningham, legendary founder of New World Computing and original creator of Might and Magic series, has returned once more to contribute to the universe loved by many. Mr. Cunningham honored us by teaming up with Unfrozen and offering his deep knowledge and insight of early Heroes of Might and Magic games for Golden Era. The whole team shares big admiration for his incredible talent and have always been inspired by his awesome work. It's a great honor for us to collaborate with John. We are all looking forward to what to come.
Feels good, man.
Hi, I'm John Van Canningham. I'm the founder of New World Computing and the creator of the Might and Magic and Heroes of Might and Magic game series. It's a great pleasure to see something I built so many years ago to be part of something that's still going today for so many years. It's very exciting. I'm so glad to be able to team up with Unfrozen on this new project and to be able to contribute to Might and Magic Golden Era and work with this really tremendous team going forward. Really appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to a great game.
Feels good, eh? Alright, we'll see what's gonna be. Kinda sad that it's still the series is like, you know, a bit as a hostage at the Ubisoft. So outside of new heroes, I don't know if we're gonna get a lot of stuff. But like new Might and Magic or something. Need like some other indie studio to pitch that to Ubisoft. Like, yo guys, they actually said, like, Golden Era devs already said that, like, Ubisoft is not funding shit. Like, they basically, like, just like, alright, guys, you can use the name. You're probably gonna pay royalties from using the name, but we ain't doing anything else for you. That's why they have two publishers, and second being Hooded Horse, which is really good. But yeah, at least, like, all this, like, Ubisoft Fiesta does not affect them right now, at least finances-wise. At least finances-wise. But like, I wish there would be like also some indie studio that would get like rights for like Might and Magic also, not just Heroes. but just the Might and Magic and stuff. Maybe some other of the Ubisoft shit, but like, well, for me it's mostly the heroes, dude, and mostly the heroes, not even the Might and Magic. For Might and Magic, I'm also kind of new frog myself, really. But the heroes, that's the shit. Early access developers can list their planned 1.0 release date. Exact day you can show now. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Hope it will also get some announcements maybe from that. Publicly show it. Potential players to know. Okay. That's nice at least. See, let's see. Enjoying that surge then. Void War is back on Steam. New details. Initial takedown was triggered by a DMCA notice attributed to the Games Workshop. At the time, we could not independently verify the submitter beyond the name and contact email Valve included. Contact email was Games Workshop's public infringement inbox, and the name listed was Mel Reynolds, which is also a fictional character from the sci-fi TV show Firefly. After over a week of no response, Games Workshop eventually replied to our email and confirmed the notice was theirs. They said their concern was limited to a specific shot from one of the trailers on the store page, arguing that certain elements could create mistaken impression that Void War is associated with Games Workshop. Specifically what they described as the oversized convex shoulder pads with a metallic rim. There. Feels bad, man. Can't even get some dang shoulder pads there. All of the artwork in the trailer is original work created by our artists. While we disagree with their assessment, the simplest way to get the game back up and avoid getting bogged down in the DMCA process was to remove the trailer and move on. We may re-upload an updated version later after we find time to adjust that shot, but for now our priority is shipping content and finishing multi-language font support so we can finally deliver proper translations. Thank you for your patience, thank you for overwhelming support, 07 Commanders. Games Workshop being Games Workshop, I guess. Oh, that shot is there in the channel? Okay, was it there? One moment. Wait, in the channel. Wait, where? There. In the discussion? Or where was it? Don't see it there. I do not see it there. Oh, I see. Okay, I see it. I see it now. I see it. This one, basically. I guess I assume it's like some of the Legions of Chaos or Marines or something. Kinda similar or some shit. I guess. I mean, like, I would like not maybe attach it specifically to shoulder pads, but like the general look is kind of giving that vibe. But like, yeah, I don't know. The power armors from Fallout, sorta, yeah. Well, in this specific case, yeah, it's more like, you know, like for me at least, right? Like it's kind of like the combination of like the backpack, you know, the shoulder pads. You have this kind of rim here too. And that part. Everything else kind of debatable, I guess, but that kind of part. So it does look like it. And I mean, when I saw the game, I was also like, huh? Is it Warhammer? Like, where's there no Warhammer in the name? So I was also questioning that. So I mean, you know, Like maybe shouldn't like attach specifically to the shoulder pads, but I guess they also didn't want to go like super crazy serious about that like lawsuit or something, just DMCA claim and everything. But like to be honest, it's still kind of way more things that are kind of looking very Warhammer about this one. So I think they could do worse than just like, you know, kind of like having some issues with the trailer. I feel like they could. I feel like they could if they wanted to, because it's very similar. Quite similar there. Alright, so that is going to be all for us today then. It is time to get some chill. So tomorrow Monday, I will be updating